The following is a Northern State podcasting production.
Welcome back to the Fairweather Friends podcast. As always, I'm Vague. Across the table from me, Mr. Ricky Reyes.
Hello.
I always give a little hesitation there in case you're going to jump in, because sometimes you just do. And you're more than welcome to. Never know. Well, one day maybe we'll have like an actual set thing.
Yeah.
But we have a friend with us today. Before we introduce him, some quick updates. I have an interview for an electrical apprenticeship tomorrow. They called me this morning.
About time.
By the time this comes out, it will probably have happened, or it will definitely have happened, because we haven't even put out the last episode yet.
You've
online.
Trying for a while to get into the field.
Yeah, I stopped trying while I was working at Pacific Wood Tech until like 2 weeks ago, and then one popped up. So I was like, oh, I should apply for that.
Give her a go, eh?
So we'll see if that interview goes anywhere. Haven't done an update on the Get Rich Slow scheme in a long time.
Get rich, I try.
I realized recently there is a profile. It tracks everything.
Huh. So
I have played a total of 453 hours and 23 minutes.
Good God.
Just games on my phone. I mean, we're talking, it's been like close to a year now.
That's true.
It was pretty much right after we started.
Man.
Because I hadn't gotten the job at Pacific Wood Tech yet. And I've been there 8.5 months. So don't judge me. I played 37 different games.
That's about my average Madden time every year.
Yeah, you guys I just play games on my phone instead of my Xbox.
Then you get money instead of spending it.
Yeah, and I just do it while I'm watching TV. I get, gift cards. A total of 27,000 units earned. So 3,000 units per $10 Amazon gift card.
Nice.
So almost up to $100 in Amazon gift cards playing games.
Not bad.
Only took almost a year. I did call it Get Rich Slow.
Did we get anything for the podcast?
No.
From those?
Oh, no, earlier it did. Yeah, they went toward like some of one of the last microphones and microphone cords. Yeah, I think half of what I've spent was on like podcasting stuff.
Not bad.
And then I bought those like sliders this summer and something else. I don't know. I put them up on Amazon, and then whenever I buy stuff on Amazon, it obviously takes the gift cards first. So
yep.
But that's all I got for updates. I think you mentioned on the last one.
I got a job.
Getting the job. I think you mentioned it, but
yeah,
let's make sure.
I got a job.
Starting in like 3 days?
I think so. I got to call them to confirm that.
That would be.
They were supposed to call me, but I think they might have called me during the last podcast.
Which we recorded like 3 days ago or something? Thursday? That's about all I got for updates. I did mention the intro last time. We always put a little clip into our intro music each time. So if you ever recognize what it is, you think you know what that's from, hit us up on Instagram. We'll
send you a lollipop.
Confirm or deny. Oh, what? Mickey making promises. Free hat. Any other updates, or we just want to jump in? We got a long one today, I think.
That's what she said. It's not really a good one, but
I like it. I'm not the only one who does those still. I do it at work all the time.
You can't not.
And our friend who has stayed very quiet. I think you're the only one who hasn't said anything while we were talking before introducing you.
I think that's because I know how it all works.
No, but we don't care.
That's true.
I do it mostly as a montage to the Comedy Banquet podcast.
It can go either way.
Where he just doesn't introduce the person for like several minutes sometimes, even though he's been talking to them. But yeah, that's Jared Johnson.
Half the time the guest will be either stoned or a little bit drunk.
Well, you do offer them alcohol whenever we do it at your house.
Well, naturally.
Blair Bunky brought his own bottle of wine. Respect that.
That stayed a prop in our studio.
Yeah. We'll have to keep that with everything whenever we move stuff around.
Corey was drunk whenever we did it. The fantasy football guys were all stoned.
Yeah. I think I've only been high for like one or two of them. Because I don't trust myself to be able to like focus or keep talking. Matt was zone out when I'm...
It's probably why Matt didn't talk so much.
Yeah, he said he was nervous, which was surprising. He's a DJ. In front of people. We were just recording in your living room for 3 of us. But, yeah. So, like I said, Jared Johnson, not here with us. We're here with him at his house. Because we're nomads now. We record, like, in different places every time.
I'm glad you guys made it over.
Makes it
Glad to be
spicy.
back, finally. I mean, I know I've been kind of making appearances off and on, but
If you like, we can take a break. His microphone
that's good.
stand fell off the table.
it's a piece of garbage. It's okay.
Have an issue
It's
with the
actually
clamp
better.
part.
My arm is better than.
Might get tired though.
I'll be
Yeah,
fine.
let us know. But yeah, this is going to be, as the title should make clear, NBA preview pod. NBA season starting. I don't know when, because I don't know when this is coming out. It's from when we're recording it. It's like 2 weeks
Is it? What is the? Do you know the date? No.
of when it comes out.
No, when the
When the
season
first
starts.
game starts. That's what I mean. No, I don't do that type of research.
Oh, okay.
I can find out on my phone here over while we're talking. But October 14th. That was really easy. I just started Googling it and it popped up.
That's when it starts.
It's today.
That is today.
Oh, that's next game.
I was gonna say.
It was too easy.
Yeah, too easy.
Preseason. Come on, let's get to regular season. But so we're going to go through our first ever podcast was an NBA preview pod.
Yeah.
Because it was an NBA show, and we recorded the day of the season starting. But we did the over-under for literally every team. It took like 2 hours.
It was good practice.
No, it was great. But instead of doing that again, we're just going to go through division by division and just kind of talk about the teams in those divisions and our thoughts. And if you aren't up with all the player movement, go back like 4 episodes of ours. We did a player movement episode. It's titled Player Movement. Because we didn't just talk NBA. We did mention the NFL and MLB in that one also. But it looks like October 22nd, the league will tip off. So it's in 1 week. Shoot. Just over a week. So we'll get this out before that. And so, just jump in. Start Eastern Conference because it's less exciting. I think it will be quicker. And we won't end up talking as much about those teams. Less of the player movement happened in the East. If it did, it was from leaving the East to the West. You guys got a conference you want to start with?
Oh, I figured we just start at the top, work our way down.
Yeah, Atlantic.
Yeah,
The Atlantic?
Yeah.
All right, so the Atlantic Division, for those of you who don't know, because I would not have known, Boston Celtics, Brooklyn Nets.
Atlantic probably had the biggest flashes.
Did they? Oh,
Right.
out of the East, yeah. So Boston Celtics, Brooklyn Nets, New York Knicks, Philadelphia 76ers, Toronto Raptors. So you're immediately jumping into Brooklyn Nets, or
Well,
your
also,
attention is immediately going to the Brooklyn Nets. Is that what I'm thinking?
Philadelphia got Al Horford. Toronto lost Kawhi.
Yeah.
Knicks are the Knicks. Didn't get anybody.
Knicks may start an all power forward lineup this year. That would be
Julius Randle.
interesting. They signed like all their signings. One of the Morris was a Marcus. I was like, I don't know which Morris brother. Yeah, in Boston. So Boston Celtics lost Al Horford to the 76ers. So not only within the conference, but within the division. Although divisions just don't mean as much in the NBA. We should mention that. Like, winning your division does guarantee you in the playoffs, but of course, like 8 teams make the playoffs. So
Yeah.
if you win your division, there's no way you would have the 9th best record in basketball or in your conference.
But does it guarantee you home games? It doesn't. Or like home court advantage?
No, it doesn't.
Really?
I think it
No.
still goes by best record.
Yeah.
Seriously,
The
wow.
conference, they
That's like the only
list
sport.
1 through 8. So it just guarantees you get in the playoffs, unlike football, NFL, where winning your conference does get you a home game.
Cue the
So-
Seahawks Saints though when you're
The Beastquake game. Yep. So yeah, like I said, big splashes. Kyrie Irving and Celtics lost 2 of their best players, 2 teams within their own division. Brooklyn Nets got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. We're pretty sure Kevin Durant won't play, but it is not completely off the table that he couldn't come back in time to play like the last month of the season and go into the playoffs.
Yeah, but they got Kimball Walker.
The Celtics, yeah. So the Celtics' plan A was to add Kemba Walker and Enes Kanter
Yeah, which they did.
to Al Horford. They knew they were losing Kyrie.
they didn't probably care about losing Kyrie towards the end.
It was
But they didn't keep Horford, did they?
no. He ended up surprisingly opting out, and then not even when he opted out, it was thought he's just trying to get a new deal
Yeah.
with the Celtics, like a new 3-year deal, because he's got to be around like 34 or something
Yeah.
now, right? So he's probably on his last.
Well, so he
Last
signed with the
contract.
76ers, actually.
Yeah, so he jumped 76ers. And then you have the Knicks, who thought they were getting Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Instead, it was the Nets. The Raptors are trying to find out, is Siakam a guy they can build around? Same with Van Vliet. They got a new deal with Lowry, right?
Yeah. I heard rumors that he might be on his way to Miami.
In a trade? Miami is looking for a point guard. We'll get there, I guess, pretty soon, actually. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely interesting to see what the Celtics can look like if just not having Kyrie and having better chemistry and a little more, probably more touches and ball time for their young guys, Tatum and blanking on the other guy's name. But yeah, they've got third and fourth year guys as two of their better players.
Rozier went to Charlotte.
Yeah, it's true. Their depth at point guard isn't as good. So is Marcus Smart going to be back up point guard?
I think so. Who's the other guy?
Oh, it's so embarrassing. So yeah, I was going to say before we even started this, keep in mind, we're not like NBA experts here. We're casual fans. I'll watch some games. Mostly ends up being in the playoffs where I actually watch the games. Just keep track throughout the year. Stalin didn't help. Still couldn't think of his name. But yeah, don't hold it against us. We're not going to have stats here. I didn't even bring my laptop. I'm not doing roster checks and fact checking and looking up stats this time. We've done that in the past, and I like doing that now and again. But
I'm just looking at previews, and the predicted record is 50-32 for the Celtics. So that seems pretty good. I feel like just based on the players they added and lost, like they're kind of trading one out for another. It's kind of pretty similar.
That's why I said it'd be interesting to see if just having potentially better chemistry.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Half their squad was on the USA team this summer too.
Oh, really?
Three of them.
That's cool.
Tatum, Walker,
and the guy we can't think of. He was compared to Kawhi too. They're like, oh, he looks like he could be a young Kawhi because he's a 3-and-D guy that could potentially add to his game. Oh, we didn't even mention that he has Taco. They have Taco Fall.
Oh, yeah, the highlight of the preseason.
Yeah, other than Zion, Jaylen Brown, who people kind of are mellowing out on old Zion. But I guess we should also mention the Celtics do still have Gordon Hayward, who looked a lot better at the end of the year, coming off that broken ankle or whatever.
This is from the SB Nation, and it says the Atlantic Division is probably the strongest conference, or strongest in the Eastern Conference. Has a title contender, a possible challenger, 2 solid playoff teams, and then the Knicks. So, I mean, they predict that the Philadelphia will win the division, Boston coming in second, and then the Raptors. And
I am interested to see what the Raptors are going to look like. All they lost was Kawhi. They even kept Gasol.
Yeah,
he opted in because it was for like $25 million.
They lost Danny Green too.
Oh, that's true in the trade.
Yeah,
he was free agent.
Yeah, he was.
In the trade. They got him in the trade with Kawhi, and then no, he's gone. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so out of these teams, we were talking on the way here, so a lot of people talk about the, what do they call it? No, Ricky, I'm blanking on everything here. The League Pass teams. Teams that are, you don't expect to actually be contenders or be great necessarily, and they're not going to be on national TV a lot, but they're a team you would like fun to watch. So I was thinking last year I would always watch, I'd have like a game on, not always, but I'd have a game on my laptop while watching like Netflix or something.
Yeah.
Streaming on Reddit. Well, Reddit streams are not there anymore, but I was thinking we can pick for each division, pick our stream team that you would like, if they were playing, you would throw on a second screen and just kind of casually watch on the side. So out of this division, who would you guys be most likely to throw on a second screen and stream?
For me, it'd be Philly.
Yeah, I think that's probably, it'd be them or the Celtics for me. I mean, Brooklyn, if they were fully healthy, obviously we'd probably be picking them, but...
Oh, I definitely would, because KD's my favorite player. Yeah, I'm most curious to see what like the Raptors do, but like for actually watching, I think I would go Celtics. Which is probably just because freaking Bill Simmons talks about the Celtics so much, like in the back of my head always. But I am curious to see if Tatum in this preseason, I keep hearing he's taking a lot better selection of shots, a lot more threes, and a lot more going to the rim and not taking long twos. So his development, and it's going to be interesting to see what Kemba can do with an actual good roster on him.
That's true.
We've had him buried in Charlotte for years.
That's true.
All right, well, that's the Atlantic Division. We're going to save predictions for the second half of the pod. I didn't tell you guys that.
Oh.
We are. I wrote them all out and everything.
Nice.
I still have last year's in here. This is the same book.
It's probably got 3 pages used.
The best thing is, I've written other stuff in it too. Yeah, this is when we used to actually do some, I used to do some research or some preparation, writing some bullet points. We got a document that he had Kawhi picked as MVP. Didn't quite get there. Was close, but he also had the freaking Raptors as champions. It was a great,
Well, I was biased to Canada at the time.
That's true. It's also documented that I picked Fultz as my most improved player, so
Could happen this year.
Matthew Berry doesn't always get them right. Meg doesn't either. So, yeah, let's go down to the next Central Division, which is Chicago Bulls, Cleveland Cavaliers, Detroit Pistons, Indiana Pacers, and then the reigning Eastern champs as far as regular season, Milwaukee Bucks. They didn't get it done, obviously. Otherwise, the Raptors would not have won the championship last year. It would have been difficult without getting to the finals. Bulls, I don't remember any big splashy moves. Zach LaVine looks healthy again. He was pretty close to healthy at the end of last year.
They got, what's his name from Duke? Kobe White. Great hair.
Kobe White was Duke?
I think so. No, it was North Carolina.
Yeah. Duke had the 3 big, the reddish, Barrett, Williams.
Yeah.
Kobe White, though, was one of the top point guard prospects, kind of like Ja Morant. So that'll be interesting because Zach LaVine was being used as a point guard. I'm wondering if they'll let him spend a little more time at shooting guard, which he did improve his 3-point shooting, and then he's still one of the most athletic and best rim finishers in the league. Guy can jump out of the freaking building. Cavaliers still have Kevin Love. They signed him to another 5-year deal, right?
Yeah.
But there's still debate about whether they should trade him and rebuild because they got
trade him, I would trade him.
They got Sexton last year, so he'll be in his second year. But otherwise, it's mostly a young rebuilding team, and then Kevin Love.
Or Kevin Love. Waiting for LeBron to swoop up.
Bring him back from LA. That would actually be pretty interesting, but that won't happen. They don't have to trade assets, but that would have been an interesting combination. Except that Anthony Davis likes to play the way Kevin Love plays, away from the basket.
He's basically a more athletic Kevin Love.
They predict that Cleveland's the worst team in the NBA, so.
Complete worst, huh?
Yep.
Even over the Suns?
In mid-season, Kevin Love would further hurt the Cavaliers' chances of winning games in the short term, but help them in the long term. Even over the Knicks. Knicks is number 29.
They do play in the East.
Yeah. The Knicks did pick up some guys, like you said, Julian Randle, Marcus Morris, and yeah, they're still terrible. Pistons, you still got Blake Griffin there, and then that point guard that used to be on OKC.
Blake Griffin was better than he has been, hasn't he? Like last year, he was better than he was with the Clippers ever. I feel like
single-handedly led them to the playoffs.
Yeah,
he's one of the few guys that, as his athleticism has diminished, you've actually seen more of the rest of his game that he didn't really get to do when he played with Chris Paul.
Yeah,
and DeAndre Jordan in the Clippers. He's actually a distributor and a 3-point shooter now.
Yeah,
you got D Rose.
Oh, that's right. I don't know how that really helps him much, but he did look pretty good with Thibault.
The first player to go from the Big Three back to the NBA.
Oh, is that where Joe Johnson went? Detroit. That's right. I thought there was talk of some other teams that I would have thought he would have wanted to sign with more, and then I was surprised when it was Pistons, and then just forgot about it because it was so inconsequential.
Yeah, the Pistons.
Pacers are getting Oladipo back.
good. Yeah.
They also picked up who did they get from the Bucks?
Brogdon.
Was it Brogdon? I always get him and Bogdanovich. I can't remember who's who.
I think they might have got both.
Damn it!
Says it
I should have just brought the laptop.
But it says adding Brogdon, TJ Warren, Jeremy Lamb.
Lamb has not panned out anywhere. Everyone keeps thinking there's a chance he'll develop into something, and it's just not.
They said adding them to Sabonis and Turner.
Oh, Bogdanovich went to the chest.
There you go. Okay, yeah.
They're kind of a middle of the road package.
I knew they had like 3 guys the Bucks lost that went to other places. People were thinking might be consequential and helpful at those places. Yeah, and they still got some young guys. Who's the center there now? Their center that's been getting better and better.
Turner?
Yes. Miles Turner. But they were a surprise. They were better than everyone expected last year. Even after Oladipo got hurt, they kept up and were in like the 5th seed in the East.
Head coach Nate McMillan?
I think he is.
Yeah.
Sonic's great. Yeah, it was the Blazers back in the day, and then
he was even like their assistant. He was Pacers' assistant coach before he was the head coach too.
Yeah, his Trailblazers time didn't end well after Roy retired and from injuries, and then he had to go back to being an assistant for a while, which a lot of guys do. I mean, Jason Kidd's doing it right now. Lakers have another ex-head coach on their coaching staff too.
Forgot how it was.
So it happens. You see it in the NFL too. I mean, head coaches go back to being offensive or defensive coordinators quite a bit. So, I mean, I don't expect big things from him, but people do think Malcolm Brogdon could have a real effect, making them better. I don't know. They still got Domantas Sabonis too, so gotta like that guy. Zag.
They're ranked as middle of the pack, pretty much is kind of where they got him. I think 48 wins. So,
and then the Milwaukee Bucks still have the Greek Freak. That's all you really gotta say. But they also have his brother, Thanasis Antetokounmpo. I don't know.
3 of them?
There is a third one.
He plays for the Lakers.
Oh yeah, but he's real deep. I think he's quite a bit younger than they are. They mostly lost guys.
Yeah.
Partly because they gave Eric Bledsoe that big deal, like $17 million a year in the middle of the year last year, which everyone kind of at the time was even like,
the equivalent to the Jared Goff.
Oh God, yeah. Goff got his big deal, and he threw for a whopping 78 yards yesterday. Dante DiVincenzo thought he would get a little more playing time last year. Maybe now with those guys, maybe losing Brogdon will open up some playing time for him. They did. George Hill, he wasn't there last year, was he?
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah.
That's right, because they started playing him more because Bledsoe was so terrible in crunch time. Such a bad shooter.
Did they keep Lopez?
Yeah.
Yes, and they added another Lopez.
Oh, yeah, huh?
They got both the Lopez brothers.
The shooter and the
Robin and Brooke. And I think Kyle Korver, did he go there in a trade last year, or he signed there this year? Because he's there.
I think he went in a trade. Probably the same trade itself, because they're both on Cleveland.
That makes sense. Yeah. Oh, and I was surprised, because there was a lot of talk about teams wanting to trade for him, because he's one of the best three-point shooters of all time. And somehow looks younger than he did when he got into the league.
Same with JJ Redick.
They actually, they just kept adding three-point shootings. They also added Ersan Ilyasova this year. Ilyasova to go, just to surround the Greek Freak with all these guys. Chris Middleton's still there. It's hard to see them being better, but they also won the most games in the East last year. But it's going to be a question of can they.
I think they can win the same, or not the same amount of games, but definitely still the first.
But can they take a step forward in the playoffs? I mean, they don't have obviously the Raptors really to worry about. It's going to be between them, the 76ers, and is that it? Is anyone else really, would you consider the Celtics a contender right now?
Just based on having so few options.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So they have a good shot of being the third best team, but without seeing them actually play with Kemba and these guys, it's hard to say they'll be good. We thought they were going to be great going into last year, and then disappointing. Holy cow, this division, though, as far as a stream team, why would you want to watch anyone in this division except the Bucks? I mean, maybe the Pacers.
Bulls would be exciting.
Bulls think so? It'd be a fun, young team.
Just because of Levine.
I mean, if you're watching a game with Levine in it, at any moment you might have a posterizing dunk or a highlight that's going to be blowing up on Twitter. They drafted Wendell Carter Jr., not a very sexy pick. Lauri Markkanen, though,
He's coming.
He's their offensive center. Yeah, with Levine out last year, he kind of was their best offensive player, probably.
If you're a fan of old guys, you want to watch the Pistons. G. Rose and Joe Johnson and Blake.
That's true. They did get Otto Porter Jr. in a trade last year, too. And they still have Thaddeus Young. They got a lot of versatile small forward, power forward types. I think Wendell Carter Jr. is supposed to be their center anchor. They might play him with Lauri Markkanen, even though they're both basically 7 foot, just because Wendell Carter Jr. is actually good at defense, and Markkanen, I don't think, knows that that's a thing you're allowed to do.
Most people don't.
Was it Isaiah Thomas this offseason broke his thumb going for a steal or something? He's like, yeah, I was trying on defense and broke my thumb. Never doing that again.
Yeah.
Kind of a joke on himself, though. He's a small guy. Tough for him to play defense in the NBA.
What team is he even on? Washington?
Yes. He was on the Nuggets, got picked up by Washington this offseason. And they thought he would actually get legit playing time. Wall is still hurt. I don't think they expect Wall to start the year, right?
Missed the entire year last year.
So, yeah, pretty. And this is why I want to start with the East. We can just run through these because these divisions, it's like 1 or 2 good teams and everyone else sucks. Now onto the Southeast Division. Atlanta Hawks, Charlotte Hornets, Miami Heat, Orlando Magic, Washington Wizards.
Yikes.
All bad.
If you didn't know that like at least one of those teams has to make the playoffs, would you think any of them would make the playoffs? The Heat at least had Jimmy Butler. They got him in a sign-in trade, or did they just sign him as a free agent?
I think they signed him. Tyler Hero looks pretty good.
Who? Oh, yeah. He just lit it up in the summer league, and then pretty good in the preseason too. He had I saw a step back 3. Yeah. Tyler Hero. I feel like you have to say that name slow to understand what you're saying. Tyler Hero? I think it just blends right in. They're the team, that's rumored of maybe Chris Paul, or like you said, Kyle Lowry. Like they're looking for a point guard, which is weird. They got Goran Dragic, but they want a point guard, I think, who can score more.
Magic weren't bad last year.
They took some steps forward. There's some weird talk about them being potentially good.
Fultz actually looks like he's playing.
And they picked up his option and another young player's option,
Vucevic.
Yeah, they got DJ Augustine, who's just always on a roster. He's an underrated point guard because he just always makes rosters.
Played in Charlotte, didn't he?
And he had a good year last year, I believe. Yeah.
They got the Heat as the 13th best team in the NBA, and the only one that's ranked. That's the highest ranked in the division.
13th?
43 and 39.
13th in the NBA?
In the NBA.
Okay. So
tied for 13 with the Spurs, and that's it, I guess. But, yeah. So they're just ranking them from top to or bottom. Top to bottom.
If they're that high in the NBA, that means they're like 5th in the East.
Yeah.
In Orlando, still Aaron Gordon, who they don't want to play as a power forward for some reason. They keep playing him as a shooting forward, small forward, which doesn't make sense. But yeah, like you said, Vucevic. God, there's like nothing else. Evan Fournier. It's just a lot of young, or not a lot, but just young guys who haven't really done it yet, like Jonathan Isaac. Terrence Ross, man, this guy's been in the league forever. Career stats, 24 minutes a game, 10.5 points per game. There's a lot of guys who just have been around the NBA and know what they're doing, but they're not. I mean, Aaron Gordon's only potential All-Star.
Vucevic was also last year.
Oh, that's right. But Aaron Gordon feels like he has a higher ceiling. Vucevic, a center, there's less competition. Aaron Gordon, with Kawhi leaving the East, with who else lost the East or left the East?
Paul George. No,
he was in the West. Yeah, I don't know, but it seems like there's a decent chance at forward. He could have a chance to make the All-Star team as a forward. Could be interesting. Atlanta Hawks, they were an exciting, fun to watch team with the Ice Tray.
Yeah.
And then who was the other guy who kind of emerges as John Collins is like the number 2 option there.
Reminds me of that Disney movie that we went to see. What was it, John Carter?
Yeah.
Just the most random name.
It was a weird fantasy Disney movie. I never did, didn't see it either. They have Chandler Parsons and Jabari Parker, 2 guys who have not really worked out other places. I mean, Parker looked like he might be a top, like a 20-point game scorer for the Bucks, and then they were like,
ACL, then he tore his other ACL or something. Parsons never panned out in Memphis
or Houston. He kind of emerged in Houston and then went to Memphis and got hurt and has never
so much money.
I've heard he puts in the work though. I've heard like he really does. You definitely can't put it on him. He just gets hurt. And they have the ageless wonder, Vince Carter.
It's his final season.
Yeah.
And he'll be the first NBA player to ever play in 4 decades. In a 22-year career,
That's
we
awesome.
played the last year of 1 decade, 2 full decades, and then the first year.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome, man.
2020. Yeah. So the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020. No, it's cool and it's great. And he dunked in preseason and it's like, you can barely tell much of a difference, but really if you watch the old highlights of him on the Raptors, you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
He jumps so high. He still dunks hard, though.
Yeah. He was a beast.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they can take it. Oh, they have Evan Turner, too. That guy always kind of gets around. If he ever developed a good three-point shot, he could have been like a solid 3rd or 4th best player on the team.
That's what we're hoping for in Portland. But
yeah, to be the 3rd string to Lillard and McCollum of a guy who can distribute and run the offense when they're not on the court and stuff. And he can do that, but he can't spread the floor, which hurts. Does Charlotte have anyone left?
Rozier.
Yeah, so they let Kemba walk. They still Bismack. They have Bismack Biyombo. Wasn't he on the Washington for a while? I feel like he's been making way too much money for too long for never really doing anything. Miles Bridges, the young guy who looked decent last year, and Nicholas Batum, who's been overpaid for 4 years now. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, who was supposed to be, he was in the same draft as AD. They were on the same team, right? And then
Kentucky.
He's always been good defensively, but he hasn't developed like really any offensive game. A guy with one of the best names in basketball, Willie Hernangomez. That's all you can really say about him. Malik Monk, another guy they thought would be their point guard of the future. Not them, but Miami thought that, right?
I don't remember.
I think that's where he got drafted, and he never really developed. He's only 6'3", so pretty much point guard's only your option. Cody Zeller, Marvin Williams, who's been around forever, was on the old Florida teams.
Seattle guy. Marvin
Oh,
Williams.
yeah, Marvin Williams, yeah.
The Seattle guy?
Yeah. He went to school in Seattle, yeah.
So you're right. Their big splash signing was Terry Rozier. So
I'm getting way too much money.
you can go blow your nose?
Yeah.
You can go blow your nose.
There's a bathroom right on the other side of this water.
He's been trying so hard
You don't
not to like
you don't have to
sneeze
struggle
and sniffle.
anymore.
Yeah, and then the Wizards, the only team we haven't mentioned.
Yeah.
The stupid NBA app, when I go to rosters, the bottom of the page is blocked by things, so it won't let me get all the way down to the Utah Jazz and the Washington Wizards.
We did mention him, but John Wall.
Which, like I said, I'm not sure.
Otto Porter
He's gonna play.
gone. Bradley Beal.
And it's a
Yeah.
big question whether they should trade Beal. They could get a big haul for him.
I mean, I wouldn't see why not at this
Start
point.
over. He's got to be the guy that the most coveted guy who could potentially be gotten in a trade.
Yeah.
If that sentence made sense. I think it did.
I think it makes sense.
I was like, it can't be the most coveted free agent. Not a free agent anymore, but yeah. Because I don't know who else. So many guys move teams. It's like, for one, you can't trade certain guys before December if they just signed a new deal.
Yeah.
They can't be traded before December.
Yeah, they're projected to be the 25th ranked team in all of basketball.
Hopefully Isaiah Thomas comes back and gets a chance to revitalize. I just don't know how a 30-year-old, 5'8"
Yeah, I don't
point
know about
guard. I don't know where you fit in the NBA anymore.
that. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's a nice thought.
God, I think out of these teams, my stream team would have to be the Atlanta Hawks. Just Ice Trey is the most fun guy to watch who could go off for like 12 threes in a game, potentially.
Yeah. I think I'd probably watch the Magic and hope that Markel Fultz.
Even though I
gets it
hate
together.
the Huskies, here's the thing actually that I've realized about myself is I hate the Huskies, but I actually, because they're Washington guys, once they get to the pros, I start rooting for them and hoping they do well because they're still representing, Pac-12 and playing in Washington. So we'll get to him later. Thibault, or no, we went past him. I forgot
Yeah,
about
he's
it.
on the 76ers.
On 76ers, I meant to mention it. To keep your eye out for him, he's been getting a lot of hype in the playoffs. In the preseason, because even though he set the Pac-12 career steals record and single season record last year, passing Gary Payton for career record and Jason Kidd for single season, which I don't know if you guys have heard of those guys. Both maybe top 5 or 10 point guards of all time. You never know when guys get to the NBA, and steals is not always the best indicator for a great defender. I think
Certainly
Curry is usually up in the top 5 or 10 of steals. He's definitely not considered one of the best defenders in the NBA. Probably a little overrated on how bad his defense is. He's probably an average defender. But Thibault, from everything people are saying, from seeing him play against pros now, is no, this guy's a legit defender in the NBA, and he's going to have a spot on that roster. But yeah, so I would say also Huskies, Fultz. I have been rooting for Fultz, especially with how everything has gone down. One of the weirdest stories in NBA with the shoulder and all the misinformation by the freaking 76ers, who have a history of that. They did it with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
I like how we talked about them. About the division. We didn't even mention Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons. We just talked about Al Horford.
Oh, we forgot the moment of the year. Ben Simmons hit a 3.
Yeah, but the moment of the year, he hits a 3 the same night. Steven Jackson and Steven Adams and Boban Marjanovic both also hit 3s. Guys who were 7 feet and 7'6".
Big Boban fan, but come on, man. Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
That's his first shot out of 15 feet in his entire career or something.
It was his first 3-point attempt in an NBA game.
God, that's pathetic. Who doesn't just go out there and chuck a 3? Especially if you're a ball handler.
And that's the weird thing about it is his teammates all say in practice he does.
Yeah.
So what are you so afraid of in a game?
I've seen him in practice. He hit 5 in a row. The little kid filming him was like, "Oh my god!"
Hey, he can make them. We used to say Rajon Rondo. Remember, he did the All-Star break, had a horse competition, and they basically it was taking so long between him and Kevin Durant. They just had a 3-point shootout for the winner, and Rondo hit 7 in a row. They had to keep going and going and going. I'm these guys are pros. They can make them when they're not guarded. It's just a question of it's a mindset thing.
Except for free throws. Some guys just can't hit free throws.
Well, and that's the same thing as because in practice they do.
Yeah, I think it's a mindset thing.
They'll make 80 out of 100 in practice, and then in the game they're a 55% free throw shooter. You're
it's different.
Something's going on
for sure.
It was definitely hard to hit free throws during the game whenever I played.
It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I only got to the line 3 times, but still.
All of a sudden everything stops. Everyone's staring right at you. Ricky's stream team. I said Hawks, but I could go with Orlando too.
You don't want to watch Jimmy Buckets?
Huh?
Butler?
No, I don't.
You don't want to see the turmoil that he's going to cause?
Yeah, on Twitter. I don't want to watch him play games.
I'd probably go with the Heat.
The Heat? Goran, they actually have a chance to be good, but not good enough to be worth watching.
I guess if I'm just going to
you can
watch it for free, I'd probably go with Atlanta.
Ice Trae is the guy most likely to. Fultz, like I said, I'm definitely going to be paying attention to Fultz and his development and seeing if they can get him back on track. What everyone says, he looks like the guy he did in college. Problem is, this is his 3rd year, so he shouldn't look like the guy he was in college now, yet that is still an upgrade.
He was only 18 when he came in, though.
Yeah, he was pretty young.
No, he was one of the super young side.
Watching...
But that's my point. Is he's now 20, 21. He should look like a guy who has developed for 3 years out of college instead. And yet it's a good sign that he's back to looking like he did before coming to the NBA. So that's interesting. But
Vince's farewell tour. I don't think he's actually going to do all the theatrics that Wade and Kobe did, but you got to appreciate it. I was never the biggest Vince Carter fan either.
I definitely was. For sure.
I was always a Kobe guy, so anybody else.
I was a fan of seeing his dunking highlights, but as far as rooting for him to get a championship or do well, I didn't care.
You played on he's your cousin's, your favorite player's cousin.
Yeah. if him and T-Mac had both stayed in Toronto, I would have been a huge Toronto fan of Vince because I would have been like, yeah, I got to get T-Mac, man. People don't talk about his All-Star or his one dunk contest. He's got there's some amazing pictures up there where he's known for the off the backboard dunks. There's one where he does an off the backboard dunk and his legs are like spread wide. And he's got the Michael Jordan reach back like on the catch and and this is when he was like 18, 19 because he was straight out of high school too. He was an underrated leaper, but he started getting the back problems early.
Someone was doing the best jersey number, best players to wear the same jersey. Him and Penny.
Oh. Yeah, he kept that number 1 through, and it's great because it works perfect with his logo. I love drawing his logo because it looks all Chinese, the TM and 1, which made sense because Houston Rockets, China's favorite team until now. That wraps up the East, though. Let's jump into the West. These ones might take a little longer because there's like 12 teams that could make the playoffs if they were all in the East. I'm saving Pacific for last. I don't care. We'll start with Northwest, which is actually interesting. Northwest is the division that stayed mostly the same players-wise. So you got the Nuggets, Timberwolves, Thunder, Trailblazers, and Jazz.
Thunder made a splash.
Well, they made a splash. Yeah, they did. They got rid of guys. No one.
Jazz as well.
The Jazz brought one good player. Well, 2, I guess. Who's the other guy? They had the Bogdanovich, you said.
Conley.
And then, Conley's the big one. But you look at the other divisions, and I don't know. Maybe Northwest is right there with the Southwest. Pacific definitely the biggest splashes. Yep. But yeah, Nuggets, the team that has probably the most continuity. They made a trade with the Thunder for a guy who's like the 5th best player, but is a very diverse player or very flexible. Like he can play small ball 5, he can play the 4, he can guard guys smaller than him. Good dunker, better 3-point shooter than people realized. I should look it up because I can't remember his name. Even though I paid attention to the Thunder last year a little bit.
Freaking Jokic, man. I got a beast.
But then, what happened to him in the Olympics?
Yeah, he did good in the playoffs. It wasn't the Olympics, it was the FIBA champ.
Sorry.
I'm reading something that says Larry Bird and Oscar Robinson are the only 2 players in league history to total at least as many points, rebounds, and assists as Jokic. So
he just looks so out of shape. It's awesome.
The first 4 seasons. Yeah, that's pretty amazing, actually.
Jeremy Grant is who I was trying to think of. So he was their big trade. Gave up a first-round pick for him.
They gave Jamal Murray a lot of money, which I wouldn't have done. But
Murray got a big contract, and then the big question, or not big question, one of the questions I've seen is, can Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, that's what I saw too. This is one of the things.
The guy didn't play. He played 2 or 3 games his last year in college. Played no games his first year in the NBA.
Seattle guy.
Yeah, he's a Seattle guy who did not go to the Cougars when he said he would.
Why the hell would you go to the Cougars?
Because his dad was a coach on the roster, and then his dad left, and he went to whatever school his dad went to. Son of a
I guess between
bitch.
those 2, he might.
That was kind of
not that it would have mattered. He obviously was hurt.
He would have developed a severe alcohol problem. That's probably why I didn't go.
The real question should be, is Bol Bol going to swing the West?
Oh.
Because they drafted Bol Bol.
They got him deep too, huh? Poor guy
was
sitting
pretty late 2nd round. He was the last guy in the green room or whatever, yeah.
They got them ranked tied for 2nd in the NBA. So
I'm guessing there's 4 teams tied for 2nd behind the Clippers. Is the Clippers number 1?
No. Bucks are tied for 2nd also. That's it. Lakers are tied for 2nd.
Yeah.
You're right. That's it. No, Clippers are 5th. Tied for 5th because...
Is this going on regular season?
Wait, who was number 1 then? It's not Clippers or Lakers.
Milwaukee?
It is
that makes
Philadelphia.
Sense. Ooh, Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Someone's biased.
Has the potential to dominate.
Yeah, but there's nothing... Well, I guess there's nothing we've seen with the Clippers or Lakers to think they will either, other than that they have good players, same difference. Or same thing, talent.
Philly is in the East as well.
Yeah.
But I think, what was big for the Nuggets is the continuity. They still have Millsap. They still have Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, Mason Plumlee. They've got the core of their team, and they just added some pieces. Gary Harris added some pieces. So they should win a ton of games in the regular season, at least.
They were a 2 seed last year?
Did the Warriors get them? I don't know. They might have been the 1 seed. They were the 1 seed for a while. I think the Warriors did pass them. I think you're right. You're right up there.
They have them as the favorites to
They won 7 with
Make it.
Portland, right?
Yeah, that was
so.
hell of a
That's
series.
surprising.
Yeah, that was
It
crazy.
was surprising Portland got home, which is great. I was going to go to Portland because Portland's the other team that's still a contender that has probably the most continuity. They didn't lose any big names. They didn't bring any big names.
They got somebody.
Powell is there. He was there last year, but he was hurt. So
No, not
he's-
Powell.
No, I know, but he'll be healthy this year, so that'll be interesting. They traded for Rodney Hood during the year.
Hassan Whiteside.
That's right. They made the trade for Hassan Whiteside, which he was not really loved in Miami at the end.
They needed a defensive body, though. Somebody that can body up Jokic, maybe.
Well, because what hurt them was that they had their center got hurt last year, and they had to
Cantor
use
played out of his mind, even with his...
for one series. But Nurkic would have been the guy who could have been better defensive, like you said,
Yeah.
a defensive guy, and he won't be there at the beginning of this year either.
That was
from what
a
I hear.
brutal injury.
Yeah, but Hassan Whiteside, I'm hearing he's matured a little bit. He's doing the whole Leonard Fournette talk of like cutting people out of his life and like realizing, it's not all about him and he just needs to do what he can do or whatever.
Probably hard to stay straight in Miami. Being on South Beach all the time.
Some say 11.
Young, rich black dude.
As far as temptations are there. A young guy I heard, Anthony Simmons, he was the guy who didn't do college, went to international route, was a rookie last year, didn't get a lot of playing time, and then Summer League just destroyed everybody. And they're saying he could be a legit guy coming off the bench to run their offense the same way Lillard would or, McCollum, and they expect big things out of him. So, yeah, they got their core, and they got some other pieces.
Hopefully Dame doesn't get burned out. Fail the second series like he did last year.
Or get too wrapped up in this rap battle with Shaq and get distracted.
I don't think he has put much energy into that.
I don't know, man. It seems like it.
Yeah.
Every time Shaq has something to say, he's got a rebuttal all recorded and ready to go, like within a day.
Yeah, I feel like Dames are like, Shaq's are like 3 days prepared. Dames are like, all right, I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah. That's funny.
Timberwolves, they're young guys.
Aren't young anymore.
Aren't really, yeah. It's hard to say they're young. They're still paying.
Wiggins and Cat. Cat's still a beast.
Statistically, he's how many in our lifetime we've seen these guys put up big numbers in Minnesota and not do a whole lot. Garnett, Love, Wiggins. Garnett at least
Wiggins never did.
went deep the 1 year.
Yeah.
But Love, they never made the playoffs with Love there either. And he still put up 25 and 12. They
Jeff Teague.
got the wrong team here. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if they can take some steps forward. Made some coaching changes, got rid of Jimmy Butler. They brought in Robert Covington on that trade. They were way better with Robert there. Everyone says he's a great teammate. He's a good 3-and-D player.
Just need Wiggins to break out.
Yeah, Wiggins needs to start actually taking those threes, not so many long twos. And the thing with Wiggins was they thought, okay, it might take him a while to get his offensive game going, but immediately he looked like he was going to be a good defensive player in the NBA, and that didn't happen. And that is what otherwise, because he's scored 20 a game.
Yeah.
It's just a not very efficient 20 a game, and then he plays terrible defense. If he had the defensive game that they thought he would have, a lot of this talk I don't think would be there about him being a bust as the number 1 overall pick.
And they're in the East, they'd be like the 4th seed.
After going through the East, it's hard to argue with that. You might be right. The Thunder, who I no longer have any reason to hope they win a game ever, because there's no more former Sonics on that roster. But I am kind of interested in that roster.
There's a couple former Sonics in the rafters.
Well, I don't know.
All the people in the rafters would have to be former Sonics.
Yeah. Not
I
worried
didn't know
about
they
that.
actually had anybody in the rafters.
They retired Carlson last year.
Yeah, that
I
was
knew they
weird.
did that.
Kinda.
Yeah,
It was great. He was a long time Sonic. It used to, for a while, it was, they just kept, like, when Durant was still there, they would always call Durant the last remaining Sonic, and I would always be like, Nick Collison
Yeah.
is sitting on that bench. He's been a Sonic so much longer.
Not to mention the ghost of Jeff Green.
Yeah. That guy still shows flashes like he could have been great.
What team was he on the playoffs for? He actually helped.
He was in Cleveland. with LeBron 2 years ago, where he ended up being like their second best player in the playoffs for like a lot of different games, and then some games he just did nothing.
Yeah, that's his problem.
But the Thunder, they traded away everything. They got a ton of first-round picks. They got Chris Paul.
Yeah.
They also got the point guard of the future, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Danilo Gallinari. So, like, it's actually an interesting roster still.
And basically the Clippers. Except with Steven Adams.
Well, I mean, Steven Adams was an all-star. Chris Paul obviously has been an all-star a bunch of times. Shea, I guess, looks just awesome in the preseason. I haven't watched it.
Everybody loves him. All the analysts listen to.
So I'm interested to see what they do, but I have no more rooting interest with that team. I don't want Oklahoma City, the city itself, to get to enjoy any more success with them until Seattle gets a team. But yeah, I can't help but be interested in seeing how they do. And then Utah. Like you said, they kind of splashy with Mike Conley trade, which should take a ton of pressure off of Mitchell scoring-wise, because what's-his-face who was there was not doing a lot of that. Good point guard, but...
Rubio?
Yes, Rubio.
Oh, boy.
You're the one with the names. I just bring up the description, you come in with the name, and then people know who we're talking about.
A lot of people outside of like if you're just a casual fan, think that the Jazz are getting slept on, but then everybody like inside the NBA thinks they're a bit overrated.
Yeah, because as soon as that trade happened, it's like, oh, don't sleep on them. They could be contenders. But that was also before Kawhi and Paul George from the Clippers. That was before. That was after the AD trade.
Yeah, that's true. No, it was before, wasn't it? I don't remember.
It was around the same time, I guess. They both got traded about the same time, right after the season ended. And I think people are back to like the Nuggets because of Jokic are still probably ahead of them. So they're still considered like 4th or 5th in the West. But I mean, it's such a bunch up at the top in the West that anyone, and there's none of those that I would be completely surprised if they come out of the West. We haven't even mentioned the Warriors yet.
As we should, because they're the third best team in their division.
Regular season, maybe. It's going to be interesting. These West divisions are so much more fun and interesting. It's a lot harder to pick like one stream team out of here.
That's true. Well,
I think Mitchell's overrated. I don't really like him that much for some reason. He seems very likable.
That guy's awesome.
I just don't like it when people jump on bandwagons and start acting like someone's the greatest thing ever just because they had 1.5 good years.
He showed out his rookie year in the playoffs.
I understand that it's not a rational thing. It's the same reason I hated Phil Mickelson forever. Like, why are we celebrating that he's the best guy to never win a major? Like, why is that something to celebrate? The same, and then it became Sergio Garcia, but I actually liked Sergio before he got that mantle and Mickelson got majors. But so I know it. I'm like, it just puts a bad taste in my mouth. Like, Mitchell seems like an awesome teammate and a good guy. But yeah, I don't really want to watch the Jazz. Also, they play a very defensive way with Gobert. We didn't even mention the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, who also was awesome in the FIBA World Cup. Gobert. I think Portland. Like I said, I'm interested in what the Nuggets do. I mean, the Thunder are going to do. But I think Portland with McCollum and Lillard, it's the most likely team to have a game where like one or the other or both just go off.
I think if any of these teams are on, Portland would be the one I'd watch.
Yeah, same with me.
Halfway because they're the closest.
Yeah, just exactly.
But we keep talking about going down there to actually watch a game.
Yeah, I thought about that over the years.
We gotta look at that again once we both know what our job schedules are.
And we have a couple friends down there.
Yeah, it's only a 4-hour drive. We've driven down there for a concert and driven back that night.
Yeah, we can hang out with Wilder.
We can easily get a hotel too. Like, yeah. So if you're listening to this and you want to go to a game this year, let us know. So let's make this happen. Yeah, that wraps up the Northwest. Jump over to the Southwest with one of probably my stream team of the year, the Dallas Mavericks.
San Antonio Spurs.
So you got three Dallas teams, three Texas teams: Dallas Mavericks, Houston Rockets, San Antonio Spurs, Memphis Grizzlies, and New Orleans Pelicans. So you had two of the probably most exciting young guys to watch in Luka and Zion.
Yeah. Not to mention
Ja Morant. Oh yeah, that's right. Memphis Grizzlies. It didn't immediately jump out to me that I knew he was on that team, but yeah. Yeah, the Mavericks. you got Luka. They picked up Porzingis in a trade last year.
Hasn't suited up yet.
No, but it sounded like, at least they tried to make it sound like he could have at the end of the year last year.
But why risk it?
Why risk it? They weren't going to make the playoffs. They still got JJ Barea there. That guy's going to be there forever.
They got. Do they still have Devin Harris?
No. I had to go through these. They do have Jalen Brunson over Zag there. Be his second year, I think.
Star of John Wick 3, Boban.
They do have a Curry brother, Seth Curry.
He was solid.
Yeah, he was good last year.
Tim Hardaway Jr., who came over in that trade with Porzingis. They picked up Justin Jackson, who is hoping to make a resurgence because he's done nothing so far with the Suns in his first 2 or 3 years. Or is that a different Jackson? Am I thinking of the wrong guy? I think I'm thinking of the wrong guy. This doesn't look like him.
Josh Jackson.
You're right. Thank you. Justin Jackson, I don't know where he's from. I think he might be a rookie. I think that he might have been drafted this year.
I don't know.
I think that, they're going to be one of those teams that is going to be fighting for that eighth playoff spot. Boban. They got Boban, Max Kleber, Courtney Lee. I don't know. These are just names.
Can't believe Courtney Lee's still in the league.
That guy is an underrated player.
I think he was on the Magic team that played the Lakers in the finals.
Ooh, was he on that finals team? He was on their roster. He might have been on that finals team. That's a long time ago.
Yeah,
Dwight was on that team, and he's still only like 31. So, yeah, it's possible for sure. He was definitely with them eventually. Good memory. I was actually rooting for that team at the time, and I don't remember. Justin Jackson, 2 years in the NBA, so career stats, 7 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Yeah, he's also still looking to emerge, but they still have time. I mean, they seem like a team that's still going to be looking to make a trade. Yeah, you look at the roster outside of Luka and Porzingis, it does not look like a playoff roster.
Logo Luka. See him hit that 3 from the half court? Just pulled up.
No, I didn't see that one. Seen a lot of other highlights from him already, though. One was like they showed this highlight where he just made the pass that led to the pass that got the assist.
The hockey assist.
But yeah, he like from everything he did, like drew so much attention to him that basically the defense ended up with one guy in the perimeter trying to defend 3 guys, and so they kicked it around to the corner and then up to up near the top for a wide open 3. Houston Rockets, very interesting. You got the big trade for Russell Westbrook, taking an overpaid Chris Paul, and first-round picks, turning him into an overpaid but younger Westbrook, who stays healthy, though. That's really been the biggest problem with Chris Paul in Houston, was that he was hurt a lot. And even when he played, he was playing hurt.
Reunited with James Harden,
who apparently have just been like the best of friends for all these years, and none of us knew. They stayed such great friends, and that James has been wanting to play with him again ever since he left.
Never been a big Harden guy, so
I don't like watching him play. I do think half those things are travels. Like they showed one the other day. It was like he does this step back jump stop. Like, well, he completely came to stop, and then he jumped from both feet over to another spot with both feet. That's 2 steps, is what that's considered, which is a travel when you've already done a jump stop. So
yeah,
I don't.
I'll be interested to see who like how that works together. He said, I feel like they both want to have the ball all the time.
Can you think of any duo like this in the past? Sure. Like, they play almost the same. They play very different styles, but 2 ball dominant guys playing together. I can't.
No, I can't really. I mean,
what about whenever they played with each other?
But at the time,
yeah, but Harden wasn't nearly the same player.
Harden was coming off the bench as their secondary ball handler, and then actually, if you 2014 when they went to the finals, 12 must be 2012. But Harden would be the ball handler, and Westbrook played off the ball when they all 3 played together with Durant. The 2 of them and Durant played together. That's what people forget was when Harden was over there, when he would come off the bench and actually play with Westbrook, Westbrook played off the ball, cutting and pick and roll type stuff.
So I'll be interested to see how that all works together.
I think they'll stagger their minutes a lot. They also got Tyson Chandler. I guess he was there last year in the trade, right?
He's still playing. So.
And they still have Clint Capella because for some reason, nobody made Capella a big offer. But yeah, they drained the rest of their roster. They had Thabo Cephalosha, who hasn't really been a good player for a long time. So PJ Tucker. Austin Rivers looked pretty good in the playoffs last year. He was stepping up a little bit. But and Eric Gordon. So they're like 6 deep.
It's really all you need.
So come playoff
Especially
time,
in D'Antoni's system.
if they can keep Harden fresh, which hopefully that's what Westbrook being there will do. Because Harden just seems like he's got no energy left in the playoffs. Which I'd not blame him at all. The way he's had to carry that team the last 3 years. Memphis Grizzlies, you mentioned, Ja Morant. Not sure anyone. What's his name? Jaren Jackson Jr. He was the draft pick rookie year last year. One of the centers with the most complete game. Not dominant in any area, but can step out, hit threes, rebound, block shots.
Who did they get from Utah?
See, I don't know. They have Josh Jackson from the Suns, so they picked him up. They have Andre Iguodala from a trade.
They got Brandon Clark.
Oh, yeah. He's supposed to be one of the best picks of the draft.
Yeah, they're already just off of what he did in the summer league. They're like, wow, this guy should have clearly gone a lot higher.
I didn't understand why he didn't. There's always talk about him being awesome.
Well, he got overlooked, I think, because of the other Zag.
I forget his name right now. But
Rui Hachimura?
Yes. Hachimura, who went higher than he should have, and who I was not impressed with the Gonzaga. Very skilled player.
Yeah.
Very
like a cool
high
guy,
upside. Too. Yeah. It just didn't seem like in the big moments. That was who was playing when we went and had pizza.
Oh, Zags.
The Zags just got killed.
That was embarrassing.
And we were like, what is happening? They don't even, like, the end of the game was still close, and it was a terrible team, and we were like...
It was a West Coast title game or something.
Oh, you're right. I remember that.
Santa Clara or something cool.
Yeah. And I remember I kept saying, like, this is why I'm not high on him. Like, they talk about him as a top 10 guy, and it's like, just end of the game, it didn't look like he didn't care if he won or not. They won or not. Maybe he didn't.
Washington.
Okay.
Oh, so I wasn't looking at the rosters. I don't see anyone on here from Utah. Because they show them if they're from like a different team, they show them in that old team's jersey.
Like Jay Crowder?
Well, they do have Jay Crowder, but he got traded. So that was during the year. So I guess that's why he's shown in their jersey already, because he did play for them. Kyle Anderson is there. He was a former Spur. Grayson Allen, their draft pick, played his rookie year last year and just keep reminding people that he's a dirty player. Just can't help himself.
He was on the Jazz, so that was a part of the trade too.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay. Then they have Jonas Valanciunas from former Raptor.
From the Gasol trade?
Yeah. So they have some pieces, but yeah, it's going to be basically building around Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. Tyus Jones was on the Timberwolves. His brother's still playing at Duke. I think his brother stayed in college. They look so much alike. It's freaking creepy. So yeah, this is just could be fun. It's definitely a potential stream team if you're not in the same division as the New Orleans Pelicans. Ja Morant's to be fun to watch, and then New Orleans Pelicans. Talk about splash moves. Traded away a guy who could go, if he has any sort of playoff success with the Lakers, which he should, could end up going down as one of the 15, 20 best players of all time, potentially just based off talent. We've never seen a big man. And you see him now, too, and he's got the Dwight shoulders now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You should dominate. Like, they showed him in his first Laker preseason game, and he had 17 in the first quarter, and I was like, you're looking at him, you're like, it's a men among boys type look. Yeah. But he was playing against, who were they playing? Who was playing just dumb people at center, small guys. It was weird. I don't remember who that game was, but it was a team that doesn't really have a center and kept rotating through guys who should be power forwards or maybe even small forwards.
I remember playing that out, but I forgot who it was.
But so Pelicans traded him, end up with the first overall pick, Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
The haul from the
That was some
Lakers, Ricky.
bullshit.
I always mix them up and get the wrong guys. So can you run us through all the extra Lakers players they got?
They got Lonzo. They got Josh Hart. And they got the guy with the blood clots, Brandon Ingram.
Yep.
And then they got. I think it's just draft picks after that.
Yeah, I think
you're
I'm
right.
looking through. I think that's the only Lakers. They signed JJ Redick.
13-year streak in the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. He told Zion, "Don't fuck this up for me." JJ was instrumental in helping the Philadelphia 76ers go from a young team to a playoff and contender.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt them to not have him there, but they'll be all right. Because
They're big now.
Yeah, we didn't mention who's the guy they got from Miami in that trade. Because we did mention the trade, and then we forgot about it. James Johnson?
Oh, Josh Johnson.
Josh Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's the guy who they expect to basically just do
He's a
what
defensive-
Jimmy Butler deal.
Yeah.
Who's a good three-point shooter, too.
Yeah.
It hurts them. I guess where it hurts them, Butler was a ball handler. Crunch time ball handler for them at times, too.
Yeah,
Where,
He was like the one of the only guys that showed up last year in the playoffs.
and then Tobias is still there. Yeah, Tobias wasn't very good in the playoffs. But he also was like, I saw a thing where he had like the lowest like usage rate out of like anyone who played as many minutes and put up the numbers he did. And he was pretty much told by them, yeah, we're planning to get you the ball more. They also have Jahlil Okafor. They're given another chance to never been a good defensive player. And then the guy who would be the most important for them to actually get to the playoffs, probably Drew Holiday.
Yeah. Derek Favors also. But yeah. Drew Holiday.
He's going to be their veteran leader.
Yeah.
If
for
he
sure.
can help get the most out of Lonzo. Plus, he's a guy who likes to play off the ball. So he should actually fit with Lonzo well and Zion. Ingram is the wild card, I guess you'd say. If he takes a step forward year 4 and becomes the 20 to 24 point a game scorer that he could be, and then you have Zion just running around doing all the little stuff. I mean, the guy, you don't run plays for him. You just let him.
Yeah. His last 3 games in the preseason, he shot 80%.
Yeah, the first game I saw, 12 of 13, 29 points, or 27 points. It was either 27 points in 29 minutes or 29 points in 27, I don't remember.
He was even hitting threes.
Yeah. And people say his shot looks bad, and I'm like, I don't think it does.
Looks kind of flat.
Yeah, but it's short and compact, but it's quick, and it's consistent is the biggest thing.
It's true.
The reason I don't like Lonzo's is his arms go back so far. It's such a long, lanky movement. It's easy to...
He refined his
Messed
shooting
up.
mechanics. His shot looks a lot better this year.
He says as he's getting stronger, which I can see that. You start shooting more over your forehead as you get stronger. Because he was shooting over... The weird part was he was shooting over like his left shoulder with his right hand. This is why it looked so weird as college and rookie year.
B.I. plays his best ball whenever he's ball dominant, though, so I don't know about.
That's true. When who was the point guard they had when Rondo was out 2 years ago and he was being given more ball handling duties, he did do a lot better. Their rookie, Jackson Hayes,
Oh, he looks like a beast, too.
only 19. Him and Zion will be the young bucks on this team. Yeah, it's weird to think already like Lonzo's going to be a veteran presence in that roster. He does seem really mature. I'll give Lonzo that. With all the stuff that's going on with his dad and his brothers and all that stuff, and the way he's kept a cool head, and he finally last year cut ties with like Big Baller and stuff.
Yeah, he's finally wearing Nikes.
So,
Never really disliked him. He just never really panned out to be anything.
Yeah.
He was a great defender, though.
Who?
Lonzo.
yeah. And the biggest thing I think people criticize for is like, okay, you're a man now. You're in the NBA. Like you need to take control of your life and not let your dad. And he did it. So we'll see. And then the eternal San Antonio Spurs made the playoffs again.
17 years in a row.
It's just crazy. And that was with, they had so many injuries to start the year. So they got DeMar DeRozan in the trade. So him and LaMarcus Aldridge are they're big guns.
Yeah. Stars.
Created a resurgence for Rudy Gay's career. Still not a great, but like at least now he's third
Solid bench guy.
best or good contributor. Earlier in the year, they lost Lonnie Walker to injury. He's been looking pretty good in preseason. They lost DeJounte DeJounte Murray to injury. That was supposed to be their backcourt.
Murray's supposed to be the future.
Yeah.
Instead, Patty Mills had to be the point guard. And I think which is weird. He's actually shorter, but I think the way he plays, he's more expected to be like a shooting guard.
Is Tony Parker still in the league?
No,
he retired.
Yeah, he was on Charlotte for the 1 year, right? Yeah. Yeah, because Patty Mills, career 39% 3-point shooter is pretty great. If you want a shooting guard. But DeJounte Murray and Lonnie Walker, 6'5" point guards. Like, that's what they want. Bigger point guards. Man, they don't really have anybody else there because they lost that Justin Anderson. They let a lot of guys walk away this year. The Derek White, is he the guy they drafted?
Shows the continued emergence of Derek White. So.
Yep, 2 years in the NBA.
Yeah.
So they're expecting him to be? Is that what you're reading over there?
Yeah, basically, it just says that him and Murray should help things, but still ranked, 43 and 39. So 13th best tied. So still, just above 500.
There are a lot of teams tied for 13th, don't there?
Probably.
I feel like you told me at least 4 teams.
Heat, San Antonio, Nets.
I feel like they got to
That's
be.
it.
No, maybe not. I feel like they should be a step ahead of the Heat until the Heat get another better guy. It's just Jimmy Butler and
He were already like a 5 or 6 seed and they added Butler. Was that really?
Yeah, but they were 5 or 6 seed in the East, which is like 10 seed in the West.
Still, that's about 12 to 13.
I guess so. I feel like the Spurs would be better than them, but I feel like Goran and Jimmy Butler isn't a better combo than DeMar and Marcus Aldridge. But I'm just seeing a lot of names I don't recognize. So like you're saying, DeJounte Murray and Patty Mills, backcourt with Rudy Gay, DeMar DeRozan, and Marcus Aldridge. That's basically your starting, right? Oh, there's DeMar Carroll. I didn't see him. See Marco Bellinelli and DeMar Carroll coming off the bench. Lonnie Walker coming off the bench. Derek White. They don't really have a backup center except Jacob Podol. Is he good?
Never.
7 foot. 3 years in the NBA. They're not even showing stats for him. That's a bad sign.
Is it Jakob Hurdle? Because I have heard of Jakob.
It's probably pronounced Jakob. It's spelled Jacob with a K.
Oh, yeah, Jakob.
That's funny.
But that's the, I don't know. God, that's the end of the Southwest. Stream team. I said, for me, it's the Mavericks just because I'm such a Luka stan. That's right. I'm finally using stan.
I think based on what you guys said, I'm going to pick the Grizzlies, but or the Pelicans, one of the two. But
really, what it's going to. So the first half of the year, definitely Dallas, and then it's going to come down to which of those teams, Dallas or the Pelicans, has a chance of the playoffs down the stretch. That would become the team that I'll start watching and paying attention to.
I do love Zion, but I'd watch Houston.
Houston. I mean, I'm definitely be.
Well, I just always was taking the favorite out of it, just because I was
you don't
thinking.
have to do that.
Okay, well, I just thought because
we took it based off of
we assume we're going to be watching them in the playoffs or whatever. You know what I mean? But if
you don't really have to have league pass to watch Rockets because you're going to be.
Exactly.
So we started with the stealing the league pass thing of like who's not on national TV, but I was just going who.
We're never going to pay.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch the national. I'm not going to watch the national games anyway, except maybe on Christmas. I love to piss off my family and put on the NBA.
My family schedules our Christmas around the Lakers game because they know that I'm going to skip whatever's happening and go watch that.
Yeah, well, that brings us to the Pacific with the.
Probably start at the bottom on that one.
Phoenix Suns.
We can do that. So it's got the Warriors, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Suns, and the Kings. So the Kings were better than we thought they would be last year. A lot of good young players led by De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
And then Barnes got a new deal. I think we mentioned that earlier. Marvin Bagley was their draft pick that people are like, really? Over Luka? Okay.
Yeah.
I saw him in the preseason last year. He looked pretty good, but
he actually, I think he did better than most people thought he would do as a rookie too. The coach got fired literally for not playing him enough.
Yeah,
they brought in Luke.
Yeah, he was like because at the Durant, Golden State game in Seattle, he was probably the most impressive player on their team for sure. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of Kings games throughout the season. But
I heard a lot of people talking about the Kings, but yeah, I didn't watch them. They've got Bogdan Bogdanovic. And then also, I didn't see this one, Trevor Ariza. Bouncing from the Suns to the Kings. He's trying to end his career by playing with all young bad teams. I don't know. But that could actually be really big for them as a veteran presence and a guy who knows how to win. I mean, this guy was winning championships way back in the Lakers days. He's been around so long.
Mm-hmm.
Farrell, another young guy they drafted who I've heard a little bit about. Harry Giles was a guy that was a high prospect in high school, then was like hurt in college, and you'd say if he could actually emerge as a guy who, if he had been healthy in college, would have been like a top 3 pick. Buddy Hield.
Oh, yeah.
Young Steph Curry. No.
Yeah.
Young Kobe.
Well, remember that? Like, I'm not trading him. He's basically Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a bad take, but he's starting to at least look like 3/4 of Steph Curry. That's about it, man. Ugh, it's a lot of young guys. Kyle Guy they drafted this year. Dwayne Dedman, who had that one good year for the Spurs, and that's kept him getting paychecks on other teams for a few years now. Nemanja Bjelica, 4th year in the league. Career 38% 3-point shooter, though. He's a 6'10" guy who shoots 75%. 7 rebounds a game, 4. No, sorry, no. 7 points, 4 rebounds. I know I'd heard his name, but no, it may be interesting to see if they can't take a little bit of a step forward, but they definitely need some more pieces there around. So you're looking at starting Darren Fox, Buddy Hield, Marvin Bagley, Harrison Barnes, and Trevor Ariza. Would that be your starting 5 there, you think?
Who's playing the 4?
Barnes, probably.
Yeah.
I think he's the stronger low post defender, and Ariza's a good perimeter defender. I mean, your offense is going to be basically Ariza and Barnes in opposite corners, Bagley on the block, and then
Swiper's fast.
Fox and Hield, yeah. Okay, so keep an eye on them, see if they make some progress. Phoenix Suns, number 1 pick last year, DeAndre Ayton, and he had a perfectly good rookie year. Did he get rookie of the year?
Wasn't it Luka?
Okay, yeah, Luka got rookie of the year, but the top 5 rookies were the guys who literally were drafted 1 through 5. Not in the same order they were drafted, but 58.5% from the field with 16 and 10 rookie year. Can't really complain about that.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't block shots. He's got 0.9 blocks per game. Not much in the way of hops. But the big addition, the guy who I said it was a great that he was upgraded over in Utah, Ricky Rubio.
Yeah.
They gave him a lot of money.
But honestly, he actually fits with this team well because Devin Booker doesn't have to be on the ball. I guess the same way he should have fit well with Donovan Mitchell.
Booker's more of a pure scorer than Mitchell.
Oh yeah, I mean he's got a 71-point game or whatever it was. Like,
yeah.
He doesn't like to be double teamed in the off season though. For Devin Booker, started a whole NBA debate over whether you double team on street league. I don't know what they call those games. Yeah, when you're playing the gyms just
NBA
randomly
Street or whatever. Yeah.
But
Drew League.
Basically, like, when you're just playing to get better in the off season, he's like, you don't double team. And who was it? Who was the first one to disagree? Old Florida center, Chicago. Noah.
Yeah.
Noah was like, he's like, no, we're supposed to be working on our stuff. You don't double team. He's like, you're gonna get double teamed. That makes you better to learn how to beat it here. Like, why would you not? You want to practice against the double team? So, and then there was a bunch of people took back and forth. They added Dario Saric. They got Kelly Oubre Jr. from Washington, which I was surprised Washington let him go. I thought he was a really good guy who can play the 3 to 4, maybe the 2. Frank Kaminsky's still around.
Lost Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, who's going to sign him? He's going to come back, right? Jamal Crawford's going to sign with somebody eventually.
Midway through the season.
Gotta.
Yeah. That makes
Hired
sense.
gun.
Yeah.
He said Aaron Baines. Aaron Baines, the last name I didn't know. Oh, Michael Bridges. I don't know, Mikal. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that.
Mikal?
Mikal? He was a rookie last year, so he takes a step forward, but still not sniffing the playoffs, right? Brings us to, which of these last three teams do you want to talk about first?
Probably the one that you guys like least.
Clippers? None of us are going to really root for the Clippers.
I
like the least, or
honestly,
who think's going to do the worst?
I probably root for the Clippers out of the three, but
so we're all three different here. So
yeah,
I would be rooting for the Warriors, Ricky, Lakers, and you Clippers, huh?
Yeah.
We can go Warriors first. Get them out of the way.
Okay.
They're no Durant, no Clay for at least 2/3 of the season or so. But they did make sure they got D'Angelo Russell out of the Kevin Durant sign and trade, which I think is, I do not understand this narrative that they got him just to trade him later. They got him, they gave him a deal, a 4-year deal, 5-year deal.
Everybody on the team says they didn't get him just to flip him, but
no, and he's like kind of the perfect guy to play next to Curry because he can be the ball handler, let Curry play off the ball, and they can kind of switch back and forth. You needed his offense without Clay for sure. And then you play those two in the backcourt with Clay as a small forward.
Draymond roaming
Draymond
around.
at the 4 and Willie Cauley-Stein at the 5 for defense, or you go, I don't know who would be their fourth guy if you're playing Draymond at the 5 in their crunch time, because now Andre Iguodala is gone, and so is Livingston. But, I mean, yeah, regular season, they're going to be, who knows, but come playoff times when they get those guys back, like Alec Burks, he could play the 3 for them. He's an addition they got. Marquise Chris is the one that, another Washington guy who was not really developed into the small ball center people thought he would be. They still think there's something there. Alfonso McKinney. Oh, Kevin Looney. Be their main 5. Glenn Robinson III, he could be an offensive spark off the bench. So
as the 6th best team in the West.
It's ridiculous.
7th, tied for 7th overall with another team or two.
Yeah, it's really because of uncertainty. If you don't know what Clay's going to be when he gets back, you don't know if they're going to trade D'Angelo Russell and all that. So
we don't know what kind of stuff D'Angelo's going to snitch out. Who's hiding secrets?
One time, like his second year in the league. God,
snitches don't change. Snitches are snitches.
I will say, probably the dumbest story I've heard in a long time was him going through the airport with weed in a secret compartment.
Yeah,
a fake Arizona tea can. Which the first people I heard talking about this was First Take, and the whole time they were talking about it, I was like, "Why are you not mentioning that you can't take an Arizona tea can through security? Why is nobody mentioning that he was trying to take weed through in something you can't take through security?" And then they brought in another guy to talk about it after the break, and first thing he said was, "You guys missed the biggest part of the story, which is he was trying to smuggle not narcotic. He's trying to smuggle contraband in contraband." So that was great. Dumbest thing ever. Right when he was like, his reputation had been basically back. He made the All-Star team. He was leading the Nets, and then he does that. All right, let's go Clippers. We'll save Lakers for last. That's Ricky's team.
Yeah.
Clippers pulled off. I don't know. Did the Clippers pull off or did Kawhi pull off the surprise trade of the summer?
Mostly Kawhi, you think. Because if you made it known that he's only coming if you get Paul George, then they're going to do whatever it takes to get him ball.
Yeah. I've heard mixed things on that, whether that actually happened or not. But
apparently, they were saying there was a meeting where they were like, they basically handed him a list of guys. Like, I mean, just hypothetically, who would you want to play with out of these? And he just immediately was like, George. Like, and he told him, like, with your current roster, I don't want to come here.
Yeah, and he made calls to Durant, a couple of people, see if they...
I mostly like him because of their owner.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Steve Ballmer.
Yeah, everything to do with Seattle there. And there's actually been a lot of talk of them coming to Seattle at some point, but I don't know if that's happening anymore.
No, they're building
not with their...
on a new stadium.
Well, I've heard that there's some problems with that stadium.
Yeah. Legal stuff with trying to be able to build there.
Yeah. So
they say the Suns owner is constantly threatening to move the team. And I'm like, come on, do it. Because Seattle's got to be the number one destination.
Well, they're definitely the
Vegas.
ones that they use to threaten everybody.
All right, good call, Ricky. Vegas is probably 1A, 1B. I don't know who would be.
But last I heard, it was New Orleans. But then New Orleans got Zion, so
Oh, yeah. No one's to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Clippers were a balanced, good roster last year that made the playoffs, and they lost Danilo Gallinari, Shai Alexander.
Shea Gilgeous Alexander.
I think the NBA names are the hardest to pronounce out of all the sports.
That's because we don't talk hockey ever.
Yeah.
that's true.
I mean, I think it's probably the most international league. Lost Gallinari and Alexander. Who else did they lose?
They re-signed Beverly.
They mostly traded draft picks for George. It's like 4 first-round draft picks or something.
Except for those two, yeah.
And then Shea and Gallinari.
The biggest haul, even after Davis.
Yeah. It's crazy. And coming off shoulder surgery, he's not going to be ready to play in the beginning of the season.
Much older.
Kawhi is hopefully healthy because he's been a guy who he played, 65 games last year?
Load management.
I was reading a
60.
Haley O'Shaughnessy article this morning, which did, basically vocabulary for the NBA to know, and had load management in there. And then the last of the description of it was just used to be called rest, like formerly referred to as rest. Now it's load management.
And George had shoulder surgery this summer.
He's at both shoulders, right?
I think so.
So that's why he's not ready. So but your backcourt is Patrick Beverly. Who else do they have for point guard? Lou Williams can be there. Is their big time
Sixth man of the year.
Ivica Subac.
They got for nothing.
Projected to be their starting center. Third-year guy, right? Landry Shamet, though, was a big guy who emerged last year. Same with Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah. That's the other guy that was on the list too.
He was like a small ball 5 or 4. Maurice Harkless. They just have a bunch of guys, which is also why I think a lot of people think they're still probably primed to make another trade. And Patrick Patterson, who even after going to Oklahoma City has value. He must have come to them with that Paul George.
Probably.
I don't know. It's a lot of guys you don't know, but it is a deep roster.
Yeah, people love the depth of the Clippers. I don't trust having Kawhi and Paul George both coming off injury. How they're gonna? It's like 3 or 4 seed.
I mean, Kawhi played through the finals, but yeah, when you saw him after that last game, he was walking funky.
And the Raptors were insanely good without him.
Yeah, their record without him was 17-3 or something. It's crazy.
Huh.
But they're the favorites.
Not the favorites, but
most people have them as the favorites.
Most
Sorry.
people, yeah.
The article you're reading doesn't have them as the favorite.
This thing has them tied for fifth. This thing, I mean, I don't know how accurate it is, but one had all the teams ranked at least. So.
Which brings us to the Lakers, who spent 4 years building up assets just to give them all away for one guy.
Yeah, it's Hollywood, baby.
Costas Antetokounmpo. Oh no, sorry, he's there, but they gave him up for Anthony Davis.
They got Danny Green also.
Solid signing.
Well, signing.
Yeah,
that was not their
right.
assets.
Yeah.
So it does look like they used their extra salary cap this year a lot better than last year. Even
Except
though
they
they did
still
sign a few of the same guys.
Yeah, they still signed KCP for some goddamn reason.
Yeah, Contavious Caldwell-Pope is still there, but they've been paying him less and less each of the last 3 years after giving him like $18 million for 1 year a few years back. But it's an interesting backcourt because they have actually really deep in point guards and shooting guards, but then they also say they're going to play LeBron at point guard some.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Avery Bradley, KCP, like you said, Josh Hart was gone, Quinn Cook, and Rondo. Yeah. And so it's going to be really interesting to see between those 4 guys how they fit into the rotation and who gets playing time and not. Quinn Cook will probably be the odd man out, at least in the beginning.
They also signed Boogie, but unfortunately he got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, did they amnesty him or something? No, he's still
coming back.
They only gave him $1 million.
He's going to be out the whole year. It's like an ACL, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's sad. I feel bad for the guy. You don't hate. Yeah, he's the guy who he kind of was rebuilding his image and his reputation in New Orleans, and then got hurt, and then came to Golden State and rehabbed, and was talked all about how good of a teammate he was being, and you see him on the sideline excited, and he finally came back and got hurt. Unfortunately, he had to come back too early because of their other injuries, and wasn't who he was going to be in the playoffs. And it's like, all right, now this year is going to be when he's really going to be back to full health, and he gets hurt.
Playing with AD again.
Yeah, that too. They were rebuilding the Pelicans team that swept the Blazers. and just like that team, DeMarcus won't be there because he's hurt. But they got Rondo and Anthony Davis.
Is Anthony Davis healthy?
He had a sprained thumb.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right.
I saw something that said he was hurt recently.
You got internet legend Alex Caruso.
Going to be an all-star this year.
Been weird Photoshop pictures of him with hair or with muscles. But he's a career 40% three-point shooter. He's been shooting it at 45.5% in the preseason.
They're going to get a lot of open looks.
Yeah, he should be getting a good solid 15 to 20 minutes a game and just gunning. The whole reason I have him out there is to let him and Danny Green gun threes. LeBron. They had JaVale McGee. So JaVale McGee and Rondo were the two guys from last preseason in the KCP they brought back, but they let Stevenson go. Didn't bring him back too.
I think he's playing overseas.
I think so too. Kuzma, the only young guy who they did not give away for Anthony Davis.
He should be
scoring machine. As the third, and I guguess it says that he reached out to Meta World Peace to learn how to play defense this offseason.
That's a great call.
I heard that. He's going to learn how to pull jerseys and pull people's shorts down, throw shoes if anyone's shoe falls off, toss it off the court.
If you're at a Lakers game, don't throw beer at Kuzma.
Yeah. I like that was the joke. Like, there is a stereotype black people aren't big fans of like swimming. Maybe Meta World Peace thought he was like drowning and he freaked out.
Oh my god.
Now the one I love this one just because. So when DeMarcus Cousins got hurt, they had to work out some centers. The only thing Ricky said was, "Don't sign Dwight." And then while he was in jail, they signed Dwight. It's like they're like, "Ricky's out of the picture. I sneak in." They did say that he had a meeting with the entire like multiple players and like the entire like coaching staff, and had a heart to heart. Said, "Man, I've been around the league a long time. I did some things wrong. I cared a little too much about my own stats, this and that." He's like, "I'm ready to fill whatever role you guys need. Just play and try to win."
He's still a guy that can get average a double-double throughout the year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure last year he averaged...
He only played and then he had that huge scandal about being gay.
Yeah, that was a weird thing.
He's apparently having sex with some...
Oh, so last year he was mostly hurt. But his last year in Charlotte...
Really? You like it, guys?
Why would you show total stats?
2019.
Instead of... What's 1,347 divided by 81? Stupid NBA.com is showing total stats for the year instead of per game. But his last full year in Charlotte, I know he still averaged a double-double. Last year he only played 9 games for Washington, but he was hurt, which was funny because he hurt his gluteus maximus, which was he was known as a pain in the ass teammate, and then he hurt his ass, which was great. Yeah. I really hope Kostas Antetokounmpo gets a playing time. I want to see that.
Even the Bucks are getting worried because Giannis isn't speaking about his contract. He hasn't said I want to be there, or I'm going to wait.
Kyrie Irving did say that, and where's he at now?
That's true. But throughout his whole career, he's always said, "I want to stay in Milwaukee. I want to build it here." And now all of a sudden, he's like, "I'm not going to mention that."
And you shouldn't. There's no point in talking about it. Durant's been trying to teach these young guys this forever. You don't need to answer every media question. You don't need to tell them things that...
But you do need to respond to everybody on Twitter.
He's liking everything now. Yeah, he learned his lesson on that whole burner account thing. Now he's just liking people's tweets. They just, "Hey, Kevin Durant, can I get a like?" And he just likes it.
Nice.
And you're like, all right. I think it's good now that he's not trying to hide it. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna... I can say... Why can't I say whatever I want?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be no reason.
Also, another veteran guy they brought in, Jared Dudley. I mean, this roster is a lot deeper than people act like it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because a lot of these guys are on the backside of their prime, like Avery Bradley, Jared Dudley, Danny Green, as opposed to like the Clippers, who a lot of those guys just started emerging last year. You look at their roster and you're like, these are at least names I know. Oh, including David Stockton. I thought that would have a bigger impact. No, ex-Gonzaga player, John Stockton's son, David Stockton. He's so great. No picture.
Nice.
Anonymous. He does not want to be recognized on the street.
Who are their assistant coaches?
So they had Jason Kidd and Lionel Hollins is so good, he's listed twice.
Oh, yeah. He was the other one that used to be a coach.
Yeah, I can think of it. And then other people who we don't know. Frank Vogel. So, yeah, there is some debate about or worry that Frank Vogel's not going to feel super comfortable having these. It's pretty clear they want Jason Kidd to be the coach of the future, which is weird. It's kind of like what Dallas did with Jason Garrett, where he was the offensive coordinator, but he was getting paid but more than some head coaches because Jerry Jones is like, well, he's going to be the next head coach. Some of the head coach is like, well, when am I going to get fired? Like, there's.
I wish they'd do that this year.
Was that? Who was that? Was it Parcells he followed?
I think so.
Parcells came in for like a year or two to try to help get the team back on track.
I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, he's been there forever. He's been there for like 8 years.
Yeah, I think Parcells came back for a little bit, but I don't know if there was somebody else between there.
Yeah, I don't remember. That's funny.
So for me, the stream team is Warriors. I mean, I want to see how Curry and D'Lo play together and how well they can be. I would check in to see the Kings if like they started pulling up on Twitter or something, but because De'Aaron Fox, man, from everything here, he looked like he could be the best player on the FIBA World Cup team there.
Oh, yeah.
But then he left the team. I don't remember why. It was an injury or I don't know, but he left. So he wasn't there for the actual games.
For me, it's the Warriors, probably.
The Clippers?
Well, I mean, yeah, like I said, I kind of just chalk them up as I'm going to see them.
Oh, you're going to see the Warriors.
Yeah.
Steph Curry, the new stadium.
Yeah, but maybe a little less than
they're going to get just as much national
maybe it's true.
exposure.
Yeah.
This is the craziest division as far as like three
powerhouses.
4 or 5 teams and 2 bottom dwellers.
Until next year, whenever it's the Celtics, the Nets with KD and 76ers.
Yeah.
And who knows if the Raptors can...
Well, the Northwest have...
the Raptors are going to be better than people think, I think. I mean, they're still going to be a playoff team. Look at these.
Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty good.
Why wouldn't they be a playoff team with Lowry, Gasol, Siakam, other dude whose name I said correctly earlier and have already forgotten it?
I think that the Raptors are going to be better than... But, I mean, what is better in the Eastern Conference? I mean...
I've lost all my faith in Canada, so I'm burying them.
All right, so even not doing over-unders, it took a long time to talk about every team, obviously. Yeah. So let's jump into some projections. Predictions. Oh, my fantasy football things. And I mean, honestly, if you don't have anyone for these, that's fine, because I don't even know for some of these. But starting with Rookie of the Year, anyone like Barrett or over Zion, or who else is there? John Morant. The Dark Horse, Brandon Clark.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking of Dark Horse.
You can go Dark Horse for sure.
But it's hard not to just pick Zion.
Donovan. Well, no, I guess Mitchell didn't win it, but that was because Ben
Unless
Simmons.
he gets injured, I don't know how he doesn't win.
It's true.
Well, okay, so Morant's not going to make the playoffs. Barrett's not going to make the playoffs. I mean, the way he's not going to win. What team was Clark on again?
He's on, I think he's
Memphis.
Yeah, Memphis.
Oh, he's on with John Morant. So, I mean, that's the way he doesn't win is if there's a rookie who's getting 20 minutes a game or more with a team that makes playoffs and actually contributes as like their 5th best player.
Yeah, so I'm going Zion. I mean, it's almost certainly that for me. I feel like.
Taco Fall?
I don't think he's actually going to get a ton of minutes. The guys that are that tall usually don't. Can't handle it. That's why Yao's career, he retired at 28 or whatever, is because his knees and feet and ankles were just torched.
I guess.
I'm going to go JT Barrett, actually, just because I think he's going to have the ball in his hands so much more.
RJ Barrett.
JT Barrett. Football. At least that's a real person. I didn't just make up a name. You guys both thinking Zion?
Zion, yes, but a dark horse, I'd go Tyler Hero.
Oh, all right. It'd be interesting. Was Miami right? Yeah. If they should be a playoff team.
Mhm.
You guys can talk while I write.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now.
Yeah.
Sixth man of the year? I don't even know who's going
I
to
don't
be
either.
coming off the bench. So
No
you just
idea.
go with the
Stick
Clippers.
with Lou.
You guys got to be with Lou Williams. I don't have rosters in front. I was looking up as we went, trying to think who might come off the bench for playoff team. Actually, if Isaiah Thomas was healthy,
That's what we thought last year.
Is Eric Gordon going to be coming off the bench for the Rockets?
You'd think so.
So
Because he's
they
not-
start Harden and Westbrook. PJ Tucker will be starting. Clint Capella. I don't think they have anyone left else to start. They're not all that deep. So if he's coming off the bench, I like him. Should be getting just crazy open threes. Jaylen Brown for the Celtics, maybe? Is he going to come off the bench now?
I don't know. They got rid of Rozier, so they got cleared up a little bit of that.
Oh, he's the like small forward, power forward. I mean, he's the guy who plays three different positions. Because Smart will probably come off the bench, I guess. No, they'll probably start Smart. So it'll probably be Kemba, Smart, Tatum, Cantor.
Who's the fourth?
Gordon. I bet you Jaylen Brown comes off the bench. I'm going with Jaylen Brown. Partly because I couldn't remember his name earlier and I feel bad. I think he's going to come off the bench. Because I think Gordon will start this year now he's fully healthy.
Trying to think of anybody else but Lou Williams, but Jamal Crawford isn't in the league anymore.
Yeah.
God, it was the two of them. Well, Eric Gordon, like he was when they had Ariza and he was coming off the bench. But now they don't have Ariza. I think those like the three guys have won like the last 7 6-man of the year awards between
Pretty much.
Lou Williams, Jay Crawford, and I don't know if Eric Gordon actually won it. He was definitely a contender. Is there
Be
any
a
big
homer
man?
and say Danny Green.
Who's a big man coming off the bench now? Danny Green? Is he coming off the bench? He would be, right?
I think so.
Come on, go homer on this one. It's just 6 man.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, anyone, Jared?
No idea.
Just go with Lou Williams.
Yeah,
All right. Give you
Why
the
not?
top projected player, like a
Yeah.
fantasy
Fantasy
draft,
perfect.
auto draft.
I haven't done my fantasy basketball draft yet, so I don't know all the names.
Defensive player of the year, you guys got anyone? I'm just going to go with Draymond. Because he's been getting disrespected, and he's going to come out without
has to.
having Clay and Durant there. And he feels disrespected. Anthony Davis honestly should be a contender for that. But I think he'll lose votes if people are voting for MVP. They won't want to vote him both. Although didn't Greek Freak was pretty close
I think he was, yeah.
to winning both. He was one of the 3 finalists, I think.
I think so too.
Or Thibault
Oh, yeah.
in his
Give it
12
to a
minutes a
perimeter
game.
guy, not a big
Thibault,
guy.
4 steals a game in only 12 minutes.
Yeah.
No, that would be ridiculous. These ones I just wrote down in case you guys had someone in mind that you have heard about or thought. The big one, obviously, is MVP. I feel like such a Warriors homer now. When did this happen? But I think Curry just
Like
because
4 years
he's
ago
not-
is when it happened.
with Durant, but not without Durant. I didn't think. But no, with Curry, I think he'll be the MVP just because he's the one contender who doesn't really have another All-Star next to him for most of the regular season.
Russell was an all-star last year. Draymond was an
In
all-star.
the East, he was an All-Star. And Draymond was also at a different position. If you don't score 25 plus a game, you can't win MVP anymore. It's like basically a rule. It's just like you can't win MVP in the NFL if you're not a quarterback.
Yeah.
Or in college football. No, I mean, with how their team is, I feel like Curry, there's no reason he shouldn't score 30 a game and make like 8 threes a game.
Well, defensive player, I'll go Embiid instead of Gobert.
Ooh. I like that. He could. And their plus minus is so much better with him on the court, which will help his case. even though he scores more than Gobert too. And honestly, he shouldn't have to carry as much of the offensive load. There's no reason he should have to. Oh, I didn't write down my MVP, Curry.
It's a pretty good argument for him, I'd say.
Because honestly, it's kind of funny. If he puts up the Harden year from last year, he'd probably win it. But the Greek Freak, I mean,
he's also
he might get even better. Because he might start shooting 33% from three, which is still below average, but would make it impossible to guard him. Because you would just have to give him to him. You're not going to be like, oh no, I'm going to come up on you and watch you run right past me for a dunk, which only takes 2 steps from the 3-point line. Like literally, because one step is the free throw line, the next step is almost under the basket. Do you think Anthony Davis and LeBron's going to take enough of a step back?
I'd pick AD, yeah.
He has to try. LeBron has to try to do a lot less and let Anthony Davis carry it so that he can carry it in the playoffs.
Seems pretty willing to do that.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's not really. He's never seemed like a selfish player.
That's why people like him.
Yeah. Anyone? Although, I mean,
sometimes it's almost to his detriment.
People say that, but he also runs more ISO than like anyone who's not named James Harden.
Everybody that comes to the team has to play his way, or otherwise they're out.
There's a reason that most superstars haven't wanted to go play with him so far. Yeah. He went to them. He has gone to them.
That's true.
Kyrie and Love and Wade and Bosh and Wade one time. But anyone think Kawhi can play enough games to get it?
If not AD, I'd go Dame. Just because I like Dame.
I was Dane at first. I was going to ask who Dane is. I felt really dumb. And like, Dame.
I thought about him too. But
I'm giving Ricky these hedges. I like it. Because I also didn't give you guys any prior warning that I was going to ask you these questions.
I think Kawhi could win it, but I don't think he's. You're right. He might not play enough games.
Let's run through some favorites. I mean, Irving, Kyrie is going to be the lone superstar there. They could make the playoffs. Embiid and your defense player there, he could be MVP, but he's got Ben Simmons there. Greek Freak is the lone.
Yeah, he's
the biggest reason he won it last year.
Yeah, and what would that team be without him?
Oh yeah,
Harden and Westbrook are both previous MVPs.
Yeah,
they're gonna be taking votes from each other though. Luka,
Jokic.
Oh, Jokic, thank you. I ran right over the Nuggets, didn't even think of it. Jokic, yeah, they're saying if the numbers he put up in the playoffs, if he did that in the regular season, in 70 games of the regular season, it would be hard not to give it to him because it would be like 28, 12, and 8, like
something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luka would be my dark horse. I don't think he'll put up the numbers enough, but he's definitely that valuable to that team. That roster without him is basically the Knicks.
Yeah. It was the Knicks.
It's a bunch of random guys, yeah.
And Hardaway.
All right. On this one, I'm going to make you say somebody.
I'm going to do the Greek Freak.
Greek Freak?
He's a beast, and there's no... he doesn't... Yeah, like I said, how bad would that team be without him? I'm not saying that they wouldn't make playoffs because they're in the East. And if they're in the West, they wouldn't be anywhere, probably, right?
The only other person to have is Middleton.
Yeah.
Who, if he wasn't already on their team, there's no way they would have paid him the money to bring him in that they did.
Yeah.
It's just one of those situations where he's more valuable to them than he was to anybody else, just because he knows the system, he knows how to play with the Greek Freak. But he's been an all-star, but he's he's like a 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists type guy. Good defender. Anyone got a prediction for Coach of the Year?
Luke.
Oh, the Kings. It's going to be tough because they took a step forward last year.
But if he gets them to the playoffs, he'll get them some.
Yeah. No. If he makes the playoffs in the West with that team, yeah. That's what I'm saying, is that they have to take another step with him, whereas if he had taken over before last year,
yeah, and
then he would have had a better shot because it's like a lot more potential of a gained wins. And although he might have gotten fired in the middle of the season.
In the NBA, I haven't been paying attention enough, I guess, but do they tend to pick teams that overproduce, or
they typically
or teams that have just dominated?
They typically take one of the teams with the best records. But if you It doesn't happen very often in the NBA, unlike the NFL. Because the NFL is 16 games, so it's a lot easier to add 4 wins, and all of a sudden you're a 11-win team from a 7-win team, and you look at 25% gain or whatever. Whereas NBA, every once in a while, if you take a team and that won like 22 games, and all of a sudden you win 45, but it's got to be that kind of leap.
Yeah.
What did the Kings win last year? I'm gonna look that up while you're thinking. Crap, we can't.
I don't even know who the head coaches are to most of these teams either.
Just go Steve Kerr.
Well, you can tell it's the team.
The Nuggets would be like a thought to me for sure. I know they're one of the favorites, but
so the Kings won 27 games last year, and that was a big improvement. They fired the coach halfway through the year, so yeah, they would have to get to 45 wins to make the playoffs, right? In the West, probably.
Yeah, you would think so.
Oh, the Clippers didn't make the playoffs last year. What?
No, they did.
Why is it showing them as 10?
They lost.
10th best in the entire NBA. Kings were 12th best. No, that can't be right. What is it?
They barely missed the playoffs.
Oh, that says 2018-19 season. God, stupid thing. I said 2018 season, thinking last year, and it went to the Kings won 39 last year. They went from 27 to 39. They were the 9th seed, but they still were 9 games back from making the playoffs. So I don't know, Ricky. That's a tough one. They would have to take a bigger leap than I thought. But they could pass the Spurs.
I think a dark horse
Thunder.
For me would be the Raptors coach, because nobody expects anything from them kind of. And if they got further in the playoffs than
Nick Nurse.
teams,
I had to look it up, but I shouldn't have had to, but I did.
Who won last year?
That's good.
I think he might have. I think Nick Nurse might have won it last year, which would make this tougher.
That would make it a lot tougher.
I'm going to go Stevens. I think with this new group of guys, everyone seems a little more bought in. I think they could take that leap back, and all of a sudden he would get his reputation back. Because, man, it was real quiet on him last year. And it was kind of like, with all this Kyrie stuff, every once in a while someone would mention, hey, so apparently Stevens isn't really that great at, managing the team. No, Budenholzer won it. Bucks head coach. He won the coach of the year last year.
He's pretty much the only change on the roster.
The team that had the best record in the entire NBA. And, but he did.
Also, you wouldn't have necessarily guessed that at the beginning of the year that they were going to be that good.
No. And, a little bit, actually. A lot of people were high on because of him.
Okay.
Because when he was the coach for Atlanta Hawks years back, and they had the spread system, they had 4 All-Stars, Kyle Korver, it was an equal opportunity system. They were terrible in the playoffs, but in the regular season, they had
they were pretty good,
first or second.
I remember that.
So a lot of people thought that they would be one of the first, top 3 teams because of him and the Greek Freak. But any bold predictions you guys want to make? Do it in there, just in case you guys got something.
Not really bold, but Steve Kerr,
coach of the year.
Yeah. Just if they managed to.
I can see that too. Yeah. They ended up with the best record in the Western Conference or something ridiculous.
I wrote Kerr, COY. We'll see if next year I remember what COY stands for. Coach of the year. I didn't even think about it. Sad. I'm the one who wrote it down. But I wrote it down right before I left. Bold predictions. That the Thunder will make the playoffs.
Clippers miss the playoffs?
Oh, that would be.
Yeah, that would be bold.
I'm going to go Thunder in the playoffs. I should have said Thunder will trade Chris Paul, but I don't know if that's that bold either. They're obviously looking to. They want him.
It kind of seems like they want him there. He's been, because his first couple of years they played there, so he's.
They like him there. They definitely like him, but with how much he's making, and with trying to let Shai be the point guard of the future, just business-wise and basketball-wise, it doesn't make sense to have him there long term. They might, maybe for the whole year.
Is it bold to say Spurs missed the playoffs after 17 years?
It's still bold, yeah. I think, they're the Clippers and Lakers, probably the 2 teams below them that would pass them. Then they should be ahead of the Thunder, which means another team would have to pass them, and it would have to be the Kings, Mavericks.
But why are we assuming they would be ahead of the Thunder? We probably are on the same quality team, same caliber.
It just feels like losing Westbrook and Paul George for Danilo Gallinari, Chris Paul, and Shai would drop them down because they were only a few games better as is.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm making an assumption. So you can say if one of the teams that would have to pass them, be better than them, would be either the Thunder, the Mavericks, the Kings, or like Memphis or one of the Timberwolves. So Pelicans, yeah. So I'd say it's kind of a bold prediction to say that they will not be better than those teams when they have two established all-stars and maybe the greatest coach of all time or top five. Somewhat bold prediction, but yeah, let's get to the nitty-gritty. We did the nitty-gritty.
Jared, your bold prediction?
You have one? You were searching.
Yeah, I was kind of searching.
Bold prediction: the Sonics come back by 2022.
Probably should have messaged you guys.
I don't think that's actually
what I was.
I think that's probably pretty bold, actually. Right, that's really true. Because I think it's going to be like 2025 or something. I guess.
Seattle's hockey team will start on time next year.
No, they're not even going to. I think it's
already pushed it back.
Back once already. But yeah, I don't know that I have a bold prediction.
Bradley Beal being traded?
That's not bold.
You don't think that's bold? You think that's a pretty high chance that'll happen?
I mean, at least 3 of the teams that I was reading while we were talking about said that like they have the assets to get Bradley Beal.
Yeah, but it's a question of, it sounds like the Wizards want to build around him and try to figure out a way to get rid of Wall, which is tough because no one who wants that contract with he's been hurt for the last year and a half.
Yeah, I just don't think that's. Anyways.
All right, well, let's get to championship predictions. Who you guys got coming out of the West in the finals? Not regular season champions, but because no one gives a shit. That doesn't mean nothing. It's kind of a playoff champion. Just say it. Just say it. Come on. We know you're picking.
Yeah,
I picked them last year, too. Yeah. Definitely picking the Lakers.
So you picked the Raptors over the Lakers?
Yeah.
Oh, that's shocking.
It was shocking in the moment. I mean, it's actually tough. I mean, it's tough in the West.
Yeah, it is.
I don't trust Anthony Davis's health, Kawhi Leonard's health, Paul George's health. But you hate to assume they will be hurt. So if you're assuming people will be healthy,
I'm going Clippers.
I think I'm going to go Lakers too. LeBron may not know how to win championships, but he knows how to get to the finals. Clippers, you can't argue with it. Like, I can't argue against anyone you would have chosen just about. Yeah. You could have said the Nuggets, and I'd been like, well, I'd be a little surprised, but
that was kind of my sleeper, actually. That could have been my bold prediction, I guess.
I'll give it to you as a hedge.
That the Nuggets.
That would be. I think that would be a bold prediction because even last year when they were first in the West for a long time before the Warriors passed them, I never believed that they could.
Maybe they were first in the West, but
they might have finished first in the West. But yeah, they got knocked out before they played the Warriors, so that's why I don't remember. Warriors definitely had home court against Portland and against the Rockets when I played them. But Eastern Conference champs. It's basically between 76ers and Bucks, right?
Yeah, you would think so, unless you're a Celtics guy.
Yeah, possibly Celtics.
Dark horse. So, I wouldn't be shocked if the Celtics end up being good enough and getting there. I'm going 76ers. If they had gotten to play with the team they had last year all year, with Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler the whole year.
Well, it took that miraculous shot to even beat him in the first place.
Yeah. Who knows what would happen if you'd missed that, because it was a tie game, right? Such a terrible game-winning shot attempt. Like,
we can't say that because it went in.
Yeah, but it was. It was a dumb shot to take. It was a bad shot. It bounced 8 times. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm going 76ers. I just can't deny the talent. I can't deny the talent.
Yeah, Sixers. I like Horford. Probably the only ones with the 2 big guys that can stay up with Davis and whoever the Lakers have.
Dwight?
Yeah, I guess.
Zubac. No, Zubac isn't there.
Well, since you guys went there, I'm going Bucks. Because why not?
Freak.
Can't blame me there. I'm just not sure what they...
They don't really have... I know, that's the problem. Is that
but they didn't really need to improve. They just needed to play better in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They need freaking Bledsoe to show up.
Yeah, Bledsoe either needs to be better on offense or defense, one or the other, to stay on the court, because they just weren't using him.
That would be a funny too, because it'd be kind of a rematch.
Oh shit! Me and Ricky picked exactly the same on both.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And you didn't pick either. All right, who are we going for champions?
Who are you taking? Clippers?
Yeah.
I'm just guessing.
LA still would be a Lakers town.
Yep.
Oh, certainly.
Would still.
I'm taking the Lakers. Braun has
Are you taking the 76ers?
I think I am. I think I'm going to go 76ers.
Nice.
Finals MVP. I'll take Braun.
At least you have something different.
A healthy Embiid and, like I said, a full year together. Tobias Harris and Josh Johnson and Ben Simmons is hitting 12% of his threes, but have taken them. It hurts a lot they don't have JJ Redick. I don't think they have anyone coming off the bench. Pretty sure they're just going to play 5 guys for 48 minutes.
That's what they did last year.
But I hate to say this. I really like Anthony Davis. I could see Embiid making him look bad in a playoff series. I could see it. Because I think of his competitiveness and his... I want to see that. I want to see those two guys. We've never seen it, have we?
I don't think so.
B-side battles with a lot of guys.
Dwight Howard can get back to any sort of percent of his old defensive ways.
Oh, but that's the other thing, too, is 76ers would probably have Horford guarding AD.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lakers would probably have... That would be we haven't seen a series like that with two teams like that would play Twin Towers, since Duncan and Robinson. Has there been a championship team that's played two big guys?
Bynum and Powell.
That's true. Powell did play. I mean, a lot of the big guys always have one of them plays away from the basket, but yeah, Bynum and Powell.
Josh Powell, he was on the team too.
Were those Celtics teams with Garnett? No, because Garnett was playing center because he's so good defensively.
Well, no, they had Perkins.
They didn't play. I guess they did play him together a decent amount. Perkins didn't play. Yeah, it's been a while, but
in small ball.
There we go. They're documented. You guys can't go back on any of this. Like I said, I've got all the embarrassing ones from last year. Fultz as most improved player. I didn't ask us that because I knew none of us would have.
I picked Fultz.
I would pick Fultz. That's the problem. I would pick Fultz again, and I wasn't going to do that. We both had Doncic for Rookie of the Year last year. We had Kawhi for Comeback Player of the Year. I don't know who actually won that. It must have been him, right? Had to be. I would guess. How would it not be?
Yeah.
Sixth man, we went Jamal Crawford and Eric Gordon. They both, I think, lost that to Lou Williams. Coach of the Year, I had Steve Kerr. You had Brad Stevens. Neither of them won it. You lifted up that earlier.
Now you guys switched this year.
Defensive Player of the Year, I had Anthony Davis. Or you had Anthony Davis. I had Draymond. I went Draymond twice. Shit. Western Conference champions. I got that right at least. You got the Eastern Conference champions and the actual champions right, though.
Yes.
We didn't write down any bold predictions. I don't think I remember asking us that. All right, well, thanks for doing that with us, Jared. Probably should have had more research on all of our part. I probably should have at least told you guys about the prediction part.
I should have.
I mean, I knew we'd make predictions. I just didn't know that.
I got caught up watching the damn baseball game yesterday, and I completely forgot to do any research.
I watched a little bit of that while the football game was going on. Once the football game was
I was watching
done, I turned everything off and went upstairs and watched Netflix and fell asleep.
Freaking! I always turn it on like the 10th inning, and then I'm like, all right, let's go team, and then walk off home run Astros.
Yeah, I mean, I saw on Twitter before I fell asleep, Correa hit the walk-off home run, and I was glad fuck the Yankees. But I was also glad when the Yankees beat the Astros. It's a terrible series for me. I don't like it at all. I don't know how they can both lose. There's got to be a way. I'm going to start searching the MLB rulebooks, find a way for them to both lose, and then have the previous year's champions take their place, the Red Sox. That would just be an embarrassing World Series, probably. But no, we should wrap this one up. Thanks for being here, Jared. Check him out on Rain City Sports. Check out Instagram, Northern State Podcasting, and Fairweather Friends. Do you have one for your actual show or just the podcasting one?
Just Twitter for my show.
Yeah, check it out on Twitter, though. Like we said last time, not a lot of tweets, mostly likes, but when it does, I think it's cool.
I tweet during the Seahawks games a lot, actually. More so. I was realizing that yesterday because it's like a shit show on there.
If you like Pac-12 football, promote Pacific Takes too. They were tweeting like crazy all day Saturday. I've never seen them do that. I'm not sure if it's Johnny or Fulman. I'm putting all my money on it being Johnny. But yeah, they were tweeting all day during the games. USC, Notre Dame, which had some controversy on a call. It was like a roughing the passer that was like, really? And it gave Notre Dame more points. And then on the final onside kick, Notre Dame's coach, Brian Kelly, was just on the field.
Interesting.
Like a solid 6 to 10 feet, somewhere around there, on the field, which is definitely against the rules. Like 100% should have been a penalty. Yeah, but check them out. Anything else you guys want to mention? Or we would love any feedback.
How about those Cowboys?
I was going to say, definitely not the NFL. Still beat you last year.
We'll try to get an NFL mid-season one with Hooper at some point here in the next week or two.
We got to do it before Carolina starts losing.
Yeah, well, it's just like last year when we did it with him. They were on the rise, and our teams were like, ooh, I don't know what we are. Yeah. Now, this year, my team's the good team, which was the Panthers, Seahawks this year. The Panthers were the best team last year. This year, it's the Panthers are on the rise, and that was like the Seahawks. And then after we did it, the Cowboys went on the rise and passed us both. Yeah. So hopefully, if we do the pod this year, a similar thing won't happen, and the Seahawks will start doing bad, and Panthers will end up the best team out of our three. And who knows what will come.
Still first in our division.
I know, it's just weird.
More than you can say.
But better record. We can't. The 49ers are undefeated, but they've played one less game. But first in the division, I mean, shit, if you don't make the playoffs.
It means the playoffs.
Oh, that's true. I guess that's kind of, you could pull a Seahawks on us, and when we were the same. Yep. We were the same. But, I'll just say keep your friends close and your fair weather friends even closer.
Later.
See ya.